What up, what up? How we doing, everyone? So, Royal's not here yet. He'll be here in a minute. How's everybody going? How's everybody doing today? Words. I wasn't expecting a stream today, but I was like, you know what? We need something. We need something fun. So, I was like, you know what? I don't want to actually make this a video. Let's just do it, right? Royal's on the way. Don't worry. It said 5-minute delay or something like that. So just hold you all off for the time being, but it gives people time to hop in the stream, right? Royal late as usual, yes. Reese, welcome to the stream. Different Reese than I'm used to seeing and all that, but good to see the first time chats. Always appreciate that. I know you got in on a last second submission, if you will. Paper Mario BGM? Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of Paper Mario BGM in the future, right? I don't know. What do we want to do? The better Reese? Maybe. Hopefully the other Reese comes here, so. Number one for me right now. With that being said, don't know if that's going to be an overrated or underrated for me, but regardless, I appreciate the follow, so kind of swaying me a little bit on this. Well, look, I'm not doing chat submissions right now, guys. If you want to get in, you gotta do it on Twitter, right? And we'll see if we get there, right? I'm just waiting on Royal to message me right now. I don't think it's gonna take too much longer, though. So, hopefully, we get the people in, right? But we'll wait for him, then we'll do the tell your friends, right? There's a tweet. If you want to get any last second submissions in, go ahead. We're going to focus on the ones that were submitted first. By the way, are the audio levels good? I never know how this is going to go. We're doing all Paper Mario background music today? Let's find out. Paper Mario boss themes. All boss themes. Dang, that's a lot. I think an hour and 53 minutes would be enough to cover this. Okay, I found a decent playlist. We'll go in order. No spoiling the bosses though, right?
When the stakes are high at work,
crap, I don't have ad block yet. All right, we're gonna have to not do the playlist route then. Let's go with this. Koopa Bros is the first one as usual. We'll get to Tubba Blubba. No haircut yet. You probably did comment already, Crod. So perfect audio, cool. When he and James will collab in MKU commentation. Is that a word? Commentation? I don't know. I haven't heard that one. Alright. I'm seeing some notifs pop up. We'll get started in just a little. I think we're getting the DM. Welcome in him. Alright. Let's get this show on the road. I hope the music's quiet enough and all that. I don't know when Roy's gonna start talking, but he'll be here eventually. I think. There he is. What's up?
Okay.
We're live, dude.
Alright, we're live.
Yeah, say hi to the stream. So... Wait, are you gonna say hi to the stream?
I didn't know they could hear me. Sorry, what's going on, stream? How are we doing?
They should be able to hear you. Let me know if you... Hold on, say something again.
Let me pull up the chat real quick.
Alright, we're good. Yeah, Royal.
Okay, everyone can hear me? Alright, cool.
We're good. Alright. We'll be getting started in just a minute or two. Yeah. Tell your friends, pals, buddies, people that may have been, I guess, on the, what do you call it? Tweet, right? There he is.
Apparently I'm a little bit loud, so you might want to turn me down a little bit.
Yeah, nothing new. Just kidding. You're not that loud. Alright. You've been turned down just a little bit.
Alright, let me know how that is.
Alright.
Chat.
Hopefully it's good.
Yeah.
Alright. So, Roy, do you want to explain this idea to the masses? Your inspiration?
Okay. Oh, you want me to say where I got the inspiration from? Okay.
Yeah. Any person that you just want to shout out right now?
So there's this YouTuber. He makes sports videos. His name is Barry.
What's his last name?
McCockiner.
So like, so what's his name in full?
His full government name is Barry McCockiner.
Okay.
Okay.
Sports Talk Barry. Yes.
Sure, yeah. And he does this series where he goes reply with things, and I will say if it's overrated, underrated, or properly rated. So if Ricky were to say lemons, I would say lemons are overrated because they're too sour.
And
And that's just how it goes, basically.
and Royal, I think there's like an important distinction right here to make also. Remember, the subject, as mentioned, is overrated, underrated, properly rated.
Right.
Which means we are going to compare something to what the perception of said thing is, right? This is not just like, oh, we're going to say something and then talk about how good it is. That is not what this is. What is it called, Royal? Remind me.
It's called overrated, underrated, or properly rated. It's not called post your hot takes.
It's not called post your hot takes. It's not,
I see a hot take in the track, or excuse me, in the chat. Boo Lake is the best DLC track.
That is that is not a proper submission. That's an opinion. We're not here for opinions today.
It's an incorrect opinion, might I add.
Now, what you might want to say instead is just Boo Lake, and then we will discuss it if it is overrated, underrated, or properly rated.
That's correct.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, very important distinction right here. We will be very annoying about submissions that were not properly done. I will snarkily ask Royal what the subject of today's stream is every time I see it, so we can do better in the future. Okay. So I don't have a plan. I'm just gonna scroll down.
Either.
I'm just gonna scroll down. We're gonna get to discussing. Okay. So this is 2 months ago. I was actually gonna do a video on this, and the video is gonna be over an hour.
That long ago? Wow.
Yeah, the video is gonna be over an hour. I was like, I don't want to edit this.
Can you share a screen on Discord?
Share screen on Discord.
Of just the browser.
Okay. 1 second. Since I'm so kind, I'm just gonna share the screen in its entirety. All right, see it. We good?
Yeah, perfect.
All right, let's get it. Ready to start? Okay, perfect. One. Okay. Again, if we get through all this, we may be doing some submissions at the end. We got another follow. That comes first. Umber Neo, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Guys, we're actually near the 1K follow goal right now, so.
All right, buddy.
I'm not saying today, but, if that happens,
how many are we at?
That'd be pretty cool.
991.
We're at 992 now. 992.
992.
Yes.
Let's go.
All right. Again, suggestion by Royal264. I prefer the opinionated fields more. I'm saying I want, people to, give their opinions on, I don't like the player prompts too much. Like, is this player overrated? That can get toxic very quickly.
Right, because it's a little bit of a gray area.
Really, any subject is fine. So,
right.
I don't know what order I want to go in exactly, since some of these will be we have to explain it a little bit more than others, right?
I think we just go straight down.
I think we go straight down though, and if something's if something's potentially confusing to what I think our audience is today, you or I will elaborate, and then go into that discussion, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, time to get started. Tell your friends, all that. Can you zoom in a bit in your browser? Yeah, we can do that a little bit more. All right, that's probably too much. I think this is
that's
good.
Perfect.
This
that's
is good.
perfect.
This is good. All right. First one from Teeples TV. Team threads on mkwe.com. Royal, were you around back then? I'm curious.
Yeah, I actually was around back then.
Yeah.
I wasn't playing super competitive, right? I was playing in some sub clans, just doing wars, you know, every once in a while because I was young, right?
So,
but I love team threads. Yeah, I think team threads are completely, I'll say underrated, right? Because most of the people around now, they're younger, so they weren't really around. Like many new players came from MKC.
Yeah.
And
it's crazy to me, but MKC is MKC era kids are the majority of the community now, I think.
Yeah, which is very strange to me, right?
Yeah,
because I'm so used to being one of the younger ones, but now I'm older, which is weird and cringe. Yeah. But I think team threads are underrated, right? I think it's a fun place where people can go and quickly learn information about the team. They can see some of their banners, some artwork, and I think it would be good to bring them back on the new website. Because I think obviously teams are trending toward Twitter accounts now.
Yeah.
But those are like a little difficult
they're
to
kind of
maintain.
L's, I feel like. I feel like it's too many people trying to be too funny, and if you post too much, it loses the effect, I think.
Right.
With that being said, I think that team threads, here's the thing. We didn't have them on MKC because the goal was to, replace them with like team pages and stuff. But unfortunately, I don't think we've realized the full potential of like the team pages and stuff. Because like a lot of times, like you would use them to, like post wars and stuff, have information. That should hypothetically all be able to be done, right? Like on the things right now. Thing with team threads is in the past, like I feel like they were spam fests, dude. And I think, at the time, I would say they were definitely overrated, but just since everybody's kind of forgotten about them now, I'm going to just go with properly rated. I think they're fine. I don't think they're this revolutionary, amazing thing that by necessity has to be there. I think there are better alternatives, but admittedly, maybe we have not, fully realized them up to this point.
Right, and I'll say this. It was kind of interesting how you mentioned that, how you mentioned that team threads, or registry pages, or team pages on the registry, were kind of a replacement.
Yes.
But in my mind, and I'm sure many other people, that's kind of just like, I don't even know how to word it, but it's...
There needs to be like comments of some kind, I feel like.
Yeah, there has to be something, right?
I don't think they should replace chats entirely, though, which is like kind of what it felt like for a while. So
no, because for me, as it stands, the team page is something where it's like, you just have to be there to play on it, and like that's it. Because the only reason to look at a team's page is to see what's on it. Yeah. Is to see what player is on it.
I think they could definitely be personalized a little bit more.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. We don't want to spend too much time on every topic. This one's an interesting one from Kuba Guy. Reputation from the old MK board. So if you remember this, every post, like you could give like reputation to somebody to like, it was like ego points online pretty much.
Right.
You could get the moderators could give negative reputation, and the more posts you had on the forum, the more reputation there was to give and take away. I don't know if I would say overrated or underrated on this one, but it was very toxic. So, as a result, the fact that it's even being remembered makes me want to say overrated, because it was completely unnecessary, and we should not be thinking about MK Board's reputation in 2023. But that's just my take on it.
Yeah, I can't really comment on this because...
It was very funny.
I wasn't, like, into the community back then. I was just, like, 11 or 12 years old.
You should have seen NATO, dude. NATO had, like, 10k posts, so he was just, like, the agent of death if he wanted to give you negative reputation. He could literally just tank all of your points at once if he wanted to. If you had an atrocious enough take. Yeah, low-key, it could be funny, though. If people are, egregiously bad take sharing, Twitter needs reputation. I'll just say that.
I don't know. I think reputation has been replaced by the good old ratio in the quote tweet.
That's true. That is true. All right, let's move on. We're not doing this one, Kuba Guy. The absolute state of the French Mario Kart community. Royal.
Yeah.
Royal. What is the name? What is the name of this segment?
This is overrated, underrated, or properly rated. This is
I don't know.
How
do we rate this? I don't know. We're moving.
I don't know.
All right. RGP3 is a running track, says Greg, in which I've already responded to this one. This is information, not a rateable subject matter.
It's not information, it's misinformation.
It's misinformation.
DP3 is a good track. Once again, more opinions.
That is more opinions, which I said I'm not grading opinions, and this is what it should be. Okay, so Dylan Sully posted opinion. Dylan, you need to learn the name of the segment. But you've been watching. All right.
Yeah.
So he says DP3 in competitive 200cc. Okay. I'll let you start.
So I'll start. We'll take a look at Donut Plains 3 here. I think Donut Plains 3. I'm not exactly sure how to word this right, because I think if you take a look at two of the tracks that were added in the booster course pass, I think Snowland and Boo Lake play very similar to Donut Plains, and people love spamming those tracks. Now I don't know if it's just new toy syndrome, or if people actually enjoy playing them, but I think that Donut Plains is kind of in that group. So I'll say Donut Plains. I'll say it's underrated in the fact that it doesn't get picked as much, but I'll say it's properly rated in the fact that most people think it's not a very good track.
I would agree that it's properly rated because I think that it's not great. I think the consensus is that it's not great. So I don't think it's overrated or underrated. Now I know it's polarizing and it has some amazing supporters, right? You know, Greg overrates it, but that's like canceled out by everybody else.
Yeah, it's an outlier. It's an outlier.
Yes. So I'm only properly rated on DP3. As for 200cc competitive, I'm giving this one an underrated, actually. I think, look, I don't want to play, you know, a competitive 200cc that much or anything, but I feel like this community has not particularly given it a chance, like the majority. Like, I remember a bunch of people, like, when the game came out, it's like, oh, we can do this now, and we have time trials. No, we're just not doing it. You know, it's like, no reason was ever given. People just didn't want to, and that's fine. But I think that makes it a little bit underrated, personally.
Right.
I'm not saying it's better, but just like,
yeah,
I don't think the community has even given it a chance. Right.
Yeah.
So, I'm going underrated on this one.
I'll say, I think it's sort of in a gray area between hard underrated and properly rated.
Okay.
And I think this because it's fun to play like every once in a while, right? But then when I played, I can't remember what year or when it was. But when I played, there were just like two teams that were like way better than everyone else, and they like mained. Yeah. Well, I don't want to say mained, but they enjoyed 200cc a lot more than we did, so they would actually practice it, and they would kill us every time. Well, and it just wasn't fun to play.
I don't know if that's 200cc's fault like on its own, or if it's just like
no, it's not 200cc's
unfortunate circumstance.
Fault. Because
so, I don't know.
When I saw them doing that, I was like, yeah, I can. Like, if I just practice 200cc and I play and I spam time trials, I will be a lot better than the people I'm around, because time trials and lines are a lot more important on 200cc. Items definitely not as important.
Well, I raise you this one. If it was, you know, the main mode of play and stuff, I don't think that would be a problem at all, because people would time trial it, and then maybe you'd see, you know, its full potential. In which case, I think this is a rating problem to begin with, if that's the case. So I don't know.
We see Brennan in the chat say 200's issue has always been the player base.
Yeah,
I think that's true as well. But yeah, I have to give it. I'll give it in between underrated and properly rated. Like, I can understand why people don't like it. But I also think that it's fun to just like get into a team with the boys and play 200 League like every once in a while. It's enjoyable.
All right. Moving on. You got Dylan with a few. First of which is battle mode over the years. Which games had it right and which ones didn't. Well, again, the name of the segment is Overrated, Underrated, Properly Rated. So, I don't know if we necessarily need to go over the individual cases and talk about what's good and bad, because that's not the subject here. Battle mode, though, in general, I don't know, because I don't think battle mode is that great overall. You know, we liked it when Deluxe came out because it was like the new toy syndrome, like you mentioned.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know, we don't really play it much anymore. I can't remember the last time I've done, like, you know, battle mode war or something like that. But just because I don't think it's like the best mode doesn't mean that I can't enjoy it, that I don't think it's fine in its own right. I don't think everybody's, you know, trying to prop it up to be something better than it actually is. With that being said, there are definitely games that have it better than others, but I think the ones that are bad might cancel out like anything. I don't know. Properly rated, in my opinion.
That's true. For me, I'll say once again a little underrated, right?
Okay.
I think battle mode's a lot of fun, and I think it's underrated because most people's experiences with solely Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and like the lag on it is just too bad. Like, if you play Renegade Roundup, which I was extremely excited for, right? Cops and robbers and Mario Kart, that sounds extremely fun. But when the plant like lunges to bite at someone and it misses them like 4 times in a row, it's just extremely frustrating. You know, Shine Thief, once again, just extremely frustrating, because sometimes you'll pick up the shine and someone else will get it.
Yeah.
So I do think it is a little underrated as a whole. I used to have a lot of fun playing Mario Kart Wii Battle Mode, even though they limited you to 2 vehicles. It was still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The stages in Mario Kart Wii were just a lot better.
Than this game, you
the
think?
ones we have now. Yeah, I think they were a lot better, right? Because
I don't know if I agree with that, actually.
Well, okay. I think let me pull up a list.
There's more, but like there's a lot. I feel like the Mario Kart Wii stages they went overboard because there were 12 people. It's like, all right, let's just make these like Fortnite maps, and it's like everybody likes Funky Stadium, right? But like,
Funky Stadium's great.
It did not need to be that large, though.
That's true. Funky Stadium's
and
great.
Like that's like all of them, really.
Twilight House. The only one I think Cookie Land felt a little bit too small. I didn't like Cookie Land.
I liked Cookie Land.
Also, Swamp Desert is just extremely bad.
So. We can agree on that one. Yeah.
Swamp Desert was just.
We're not getting into the smart steering debate and metagame of battle mode. Let's keep it moving. I think. Dylan also says solo circuit. Y'all know I'm going to say on this one because I've been mainly one of the big organizers of solo circuit. I think it could be done quite a bit better. I will say that, but as far as like the community's engagement with it, the first one I think was pretty good, but that was on 8U when everything was smaller. More recently, there hasn't been like, a desperate let's get back to it kind of thing. I think it's underrated personally, and I think that leaderboards and tournaments like that in general should have like a greater emphasis in the community. As opposed to, just like your typical lounge formats where, it's kind of like more of a continuous thing. I like having stakes to matches that like, are permanent, right? You can hit a peak MMR, but, it keeps going after that. I like, having like a tournament that has a definitive ending. It makes, winning feel something that lasts, right? It's like a legacy kind of thing. And I feel like we kind of lost a little bit of that in our solo tournament. So personally, for me, I'm going underrated on this one.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. I think, one of the main complaints about Lounge is that, especially like on the higher end, is that people with more events tend to be more out of, I don't want to say out of place, but their MMR tends to be higher than where you think like they would finish in a tournament, for example. So but I do think that Mario Kart is a game that's too, I want to say it's too like unpredictable, too wild.
Well, I know why that's a thing. I think it's because most people that stop playing do so after a win streak, right? To kind of sit on it.
And so I think that having like one event where you just stop and like that's your leaderboard ranking, I think we need like a little bit of a bigger sample size, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 tournaments.
I would agree. Yeah.
Because if you consistently anyone can lose in the first or second round of an FFA tournament, right? But if you're consistently losing in the first or second round, then it's probably not a coincidence.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'd agree. All right, I'm moving on. Region-based tournaments are next. So, Continental Cup, Regional Rumble. I guess the UMLs that were like focused on like, a potential country.
I'm sorry, UML is overrated. All right,
and
it's fun in theory, but the last couple times we've run it, nobody knows how to behave. I always get messages like, "Hey, this player just left my server because they don't like my team."
Yeah.
So people don't know how to behave. UML completely overrated.
So again, region-based tournaments in general, I think it is here. There may be UML later in it, but Royal's giving you his UML take right now.
Yeah, it's
as far as the regional tournaments go. However, I think that this is a hard overrated, and it's always been that way. It's always gone back to like the idea of like national teams and war versus Japan and finding turns based on like your country and all of that. And quite frankly, most of these tournaments have very bad natural imbalance that you cannot really fix in any way. I've seen like a lot of people, it's like, hey, we want these tournaments to be like balanced and stuff. Like, we want it to be close. And it's like, yeah, but if you artificially make it so these regional tournaments are closer, it literally just means that you're defeating the purpose of the tournaments, which is typically to find out which region is the best. Mm-hmm. Now, these tournaments can pop off. We've seen it in Melee, East versus West Coast, right? There can be rivalries and stuff like that. But, I don't know. I think in an online community, it doesn't have quite the same effect. Maybe that would change, in like a LAN setting, right? With like the regional pride on the line. But I think over the internet and stuff, I think it's a bit overrated, personally.
Yeah, I'm gonna say properly rated, right? Because I think that these tournaments are very fun, in the fact that people don't take them very seriously, right? Like when I play PL, it's just us hanging out on a Friday night playing some games. And when the DLC came out, it was the DLC came out. I think it was DLC 3 that came out right when there was a PL season, and that was like a lot of fun, right? Because we would just message the team, be like, "Hey, we only want to play DLC tracks. Let's do it."
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun, and I think that the tournaments can be improved if we have these kind of less serious tournaments, right?
I can agree with that. Yeah.
If we have these less serious tournaments around when the DLCs come out, so that we can focus on the new parts of the game, and I think that's fun.
All right, I can get down with that. Yeah. I like the idea of meeting new people. That's something that's good in my opinion.
I think that's a big draw. Like, we had a regional rumble.
I would say underrated. I would say underrated if like it was like actually translating to like more friendships like being made and sustained in person. But I don't think we've gotten to that point yet. That's my personal take on it.
Yeah, and I see Tatum in the chat. He said he like regional rumble, thought it was pretty fun. I did too, right? And that's because he and I were on the same team.
Yep.
And he and I were on the same team, and we had like a really great group of players. It was fun. We had a good team, and we got second, it was fun. And it was fun meeting all the new people and playing with all the new players. I enjoyed it. But is it something that I would want to do more than like maybe once or twice a year? Probably not.
Got it. All right. Yeah, I know Ohio played like one of like the regional rumble events like in person. That was a very cool experience, even though I think we got rocked that match.
Yeah.
But it happens. Actually, no, that wasn't. No, that was like I think that was like one of the PL matches. Actually, not the regional rumble. But you know what I mean. Anyways, I made a post. We'll get back to that one earlier. We already kind of did do 200cc. I want to get like the takes that like are actually submitted by other people first. I was just providing content, right? Spike, we are not playing Emogi right now. Royal, what is the name of this segment again?
It is overrated, underrated, properly rated, not.
Yes.
Post your hot takes.
Or pick like the track that's gonna happen next. Just not happen. All right.
Sure.
Do you remember Ken Royal?
Yes, I do. I remember you DM'd me and said, "Can you join this?" I was like, "Okay."
So and here's the thing. I'm just gonna say it as the creator. I'm gonna say overrated on this one. I'm happy you enjoyed it, Cynic. Is that how you pronounce it? I assume it's like Sonic, but like with I don't know. I never actually knew.
Yeah, Cynic.
Yeah. I think it's overrated because I mean I'm happy that you had good memories and stuff. But like it was a thing for like a week. We played some Mogies and that was it. I guess it was cool enough, right? But I don't know. I don't think it's anything really worth remembering. I guess, but hey, that's just me.
I can't really rate this one. I guess I'll go overrated because.
You think my server's overrated?
You said the same thing.
Okay, got it. All right. I guess it's just a good instance of what you take away from something can mean something else to somebody else, right?
Yeah.
Y'all are wasting your channel points. I'm not doing any games right now. All right. Next, Brat says punching and wheelies. So double dash mechanic, MK Wii mechanic. Let's start with punching. So this is a multiplayer only thing, I believe. I know, your AI can technically do it as well in single player mode, but I don't really think it's something that you control that way. So I'm just thinking as like a you're on the back of the car kind of thing.
Yeah.
Personally, I think this mechanic is really overrated. And
okay,
that may be because it has to do with the game's mechanics in general. But most of the time when you're playing Double Dash with a partner, that means that you're playing one other team or just AI in general. And odds are, more often than not, you're not going to be directly next to your opponent. And the other thing is, like, when you punch, you give up your mini turbo or like your charge at that point to do it. So it's not something you're going to really want to do much unless you just really want to piss off your driver. If you happen to have like a very good friend who's amazing at Double Dash and you play with him as the driver in the back, I guess you can use this to ruin his life. But I don't know. It's cool that you can get an item from them though. I think I actually got owned by Mancolor once when playing this. I think he punched me and stole like a shock or something because it's Mancolor. But outside of that one instance, pretty insignificant feature from what I've noticed.
Yeah, I'm going to say hard overrated because a lot of people complain about booze, and if you said that this was underrated, I would have called you a contrarian because you famously said Boo is a competitive item.
I think it's funny.
Yeah, but I think this is just, it's not good. Like, it's really funny if you do it one time.
It's situationally amazing.
If it's really funny if you do it one time and you take like someone's mushroom, but if you do it a second time, it's like, okay, now you're just being an asshole.
Yeah, I'm not sure how this imagine just like playing 8D, Wario sitting in beginning first set, and everybody starts mashing punch to see like the
eyes. Like, what is that, dude?
Oh my god. How toxic would that be? I don't know. Let's move on to wheelies. As you all know, I am a lover of all things Mario Kart Wii. But I have to admit, while I think wheelies were a very good mechanic, I think they fit the game very well. I feel like the game would even feel empty without them. I think their reputation precedes them just a little bit. I think they're a great mechanic, Luke, but Royal, what is the name of the segment?
Overrated, underrated, and properly rated.
So, what I'm saying is, something can be good, but also overrated. Just like Steph Curry, Luke. And... Steph's great.
I don't know about all that.
I just want to go after him for no reason. Here's the thing. I think that wheelies were a great mechanic. I agree. I don't think they're as good as everybody says they were, to be honest. Steph is very upset. Or I said Luke is very upset right now about that Steph Curry comment. Would wheelies work in 8D? I don't know. They're very good in MKWii for what they were, but I think people, well, I think back to MKWii, like the reasons why I love that game, right? Like, I don't think, oh yeah, you can wheelie. That's why I love it so much. But I feel like so many people say that, right?
Right.
I don't know. Go ahead.
And so I'm going to say overrated as well, right? I think that wheelies, obviously, they made bikes broken in Mario Kart Wii, and they would absolutely make inward bikes broken in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Send is right also.
Yeah, no, because I was going to say
drift,
they're like right on the same here right now. Because when people first started playing, we were like, okay, inward sucks, like there's no reason to use it. But inward is crazy. Inward and outward, I would say they're just about equally as good. I think the only buff you can make to the inward bike in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe without completely breaking it is letting it do super bounces. And still, that's like the only disadvantage that inward has. So I think it might even be
playable in Gorge.
It might even be like fair.
Yeah.
If it can't super bounce. So I think it's fine right now. I think wheelie's overrated. I think it's better to just leave him alone. Like it was a good idea, just leave him alone.
Yeah, I think it worked perfectly in MKWii, but again, great mechanics can be sometimes overrated. In my opinion, I think that there were like other reasons why the inside drifting vehicle was so fun in Mario Kart Wii, and while wheelies kind of made the game like feel more complete, I think really just the drifting system in general or what made those bikes what they were in MKWii personally.
Like if inward bikes in 8D could wheelie and like it made you go faster on straights, there would literally be no reason to not use inward bike. They would be extremely broken.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy too, because like they messed with how drift starts compared to Mario Kart Wii also.
Yeah.
So who knows? All right, let's keep it going. I like the game mechanic questions, or like the just like post like a mechanic or something like that. I think those are interesting.
Yeah.
All right, season 15 MKU. Ro, I'm gonna let you go first because I'm going on a rant on this one.
This is the one where it's like upper Division 1 and lower Division 1, right?
Yeah.
Shit is garbage, dude. It's so bad. Don't people are like, oh, it's new, it's a change. It's not. It's just worse Frontier. But like, I think it's decent, but not for MKU because my team won the lower Division 1 the first half, and then we got into the second half and we lost against a team that we shouldn't have lost to in the first week. So we were just relegated to the lower division. We were relegated to lower Division 1 and we were just stuck there. And we had to wait months for our next chance to actually compete in Division 1 and win a Division 1 title. It was dog shit. It was dog shit then, it's dog shit now. And people are saying, oh, we miss it. No, you don't. It's Frontier. It's very bad. Very, very bad and should not return. I would maybe some kind of tournament, but leave MKU as it is. There's a reason why MKU has been MKU for 10 years, right? But I think it's overrated.
All right, Royal. You know who misses that format?
Better not be you.
I miss that format.
Come on,
I like
dude.
that
It's
format.
so bad.
Now, here's the thing, Royal. I think that there was a major mistake made with the formatting as it was, right? That just completely did not have to happen whatsoever. And you could even make the argument, not for MKU, right? Not for MKU. With that being said, I think it was very incredibly bad that, based off of like what happened like on the first week, that so many of the teams just immediately felt like there was nothing to play for. And I think one of the biggest issues with it was that we said there was a Division 1 Premier bracket and a Division 1 consolation bracket. And it's like, if what you played in the first half of that season, where you won it, right? You won the consolation bracket, right?
Yes. We won consolation bracket.
That should have just been you competing for Division 2, in my opinion. It makes complete sense, because there's 8 teams in the top bracket, there's 8 teams in the bottom bracket. How's MKU right now? Oh, there's 8 teams in Division 1, there's 8 teams in Division 2. Why are we immediately just saying, okay, based on this one weekend thing, we are just deciding now that half the teams in the league aren't competing for a banner anymore? I think that's completely and utterly ridiculous, and it was completely avoidable at that. Trippy, by the way, thank you for the follow.
That's absolutely my main gripe with it, right? Because we lost to a team that we shouldn't have lost to. They outplayed us, and we lost. So for the next month, we're like, okay, guys, let's play the same shit that we just played and compete for the same thing that we just won. So it was not enjoyable.
Yeah. I think it would be better, personally, if, there was still something on the line in the second half for more than 50% of the teams, but there wasn't with how it was set up, and it just completely baffled me how that happened. With that being said, I do like the idea of having tournaments where every match does have an impact on the results.
Yeah.
Maybe that doesn't need to necessarily be the MKU format, but I also do, and maybe the sample size of matches was too low also, where it's like one weekend. Like, what if you don't have a great lineup, right? Well, that sucks. But, with that being said, I lost my train of thought. What were we saying? I
was going to say the only good thing to come from this format is that I led a team to the first ever Mickey Division 1 championship, and no one can take that away from me.
You gotta stop, bro.
Whatever, no one can take it away from me.
Nobody can take that away from you. I guess you technically won a tournament in Division 1.
We did. We won the Mickey Division 1 championship.
The other thing I did like about it is that it allowed for teams to progress through the brackets quicker without having to wait like a 3-month time span. And I think one of the things, really to, I guess, take away from it is like, oftentimes when teams improve, you actually see these teams improve faster than the course of the season. Personally, right now, I think, like, in my MKU team, or, Hopips, like, I think that we were not as great at the beginning of the season as we are now, but that's, we have new players or people that are coming back to the game are really just starting to get into MKU for the first time. And on the second half of the season, it's felt that we've gotten significantly better than we were when we were seeded into the division, and now we're playing for the finals this weekend. I think it happened with another team in our division also, TRP. Ryan was saying this, that TRP was actually the best team in Division 3, and they started off, the Division 1 and 5. Like, their season was sunk, and last 2 weekends, they figured something out, they put it all together, they ended 5-5, blowing out every single team, including us, who made the finals now. And it's like, are they better now? Or did they just play 2 weeks at the end in a division that, they're more than capable of handling, but, they just had to wait a bunch of time? So I like the idea of quicker brackets, personally. I like the idea of, having every match mean something. I always preferred the bracket tournaments as a result. Did this need to replace MKU per se? Probably not. Does that mean that it's necessarily a bad format and that it cannot be improved upon? I think it could be improved upon. So in my opinion,
I think it can be improved upon, but I think it left a bad taste in too many people's mouths.
And that's why, and that is precisely why I think it is underrated, because I think that the perception of it is worse than it actually is and could be in the future. But that's just my take.
That's
no
fair.
comment? That's fair? All right.
I think if
I agree with Reese on this one. Bad execution.
Yeah. Like, I think if MKU staff typed an announcement, hey, season 21 or 22, season 21, I think. Season 21, same thing that we just did, or that we did in season 15. I would be like, I have no interest in playing this.
There'd
Sorry.
be pitchforks.
Sorry. I'm like not. I don't like this. But if they were like, if someone announced, hey, we're going to do an off-season tournament, we're going to work on this format, try to improve upon it, it's going to be different, it'll be an off-season tournament.
I think a lot of people would
okay,
like it because
I'm interested.
It'd be like a second divisional tournament. I think a lot of people like don't like, the brackets where there aren't divisions and stuff.
Right.
So I think that could be a big win for people, if anything.
And I think a lot of people, like BL2, I guess BL1 now, or Lobsters, whatever. Lobsters were talking about this. They were like, yeah, I don't really like Frontier. And I was like, that's interesting to me, right? Because I love Frontier. And I was thinking about why they might not like it. Is it that they don't like it because they just run into opponents that are like clearly outside of their skill range and they just smash them and they don't enjoy that? Is it because they know that they might not, or they're not going to win like the whole entire tournament?
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, I saw Frontier as a chance, and this is kind of like where we had our breakout tournament, is like, Frontier is a chance where we can get a shot at teams that we usually don't have a shot at playing, because I think we lost like D2 semis that season, and then
I'm pumped
and
for
then the tournament
season tournament, like on the second team, because I haven't got to experience this in a really long time.
Yeah, and then the tournament, and then we played Frontier and we got third in the tournament, and we beat Bree and HD, and then that let us get into D1. So I kind of like it, but I can understand why some teams don't like it.
And I think that's also another interesting thing about, the season 15 MKU format, is if you do run it as like an off-season kind of format, it's like you allow those teams that don't ordinarily like the bracket tournaments to kind of get to experience that in a system that self-adjusts, skill levels in the middle of the season, right? You would not be overwhelmed per se, but if you were better than what you were seeded to be or what you were thought to be, you would have a chance to move up like in the middle of the tournament, as opposed to just biting the bullet on what division you're in. And that goes for if you're overseeded too. It's like, oh, this is overwhelming. Well, the format will correct itself in the middle. Then you'll get another chance at like lower level competition if that's where you actually belong. So I think we spent a lot of time on this subject, but I think it's a really good one.
I think it's important to talk about.
Yeah,
I think it's important to talk about.
All right, let's move on. Sand time
overrated
trial in December.
Overrated, underrated, properly rated. We're not talking about Sand plant time trials.
Sand said "fuck you" to me, so that's kind of funny. All right, so this is my buddy Eric from the Columbus Smash scene, and I'm pumped for him to get in on this.
That's epic.
Yeah, I think these are good topics. So let's start with DS mission mode. As a former speedrunner of this category, former world record holder even, I loved mission mode. Okay. I think everybody liked mission mode, is the thing.
Yeah.
I think it's just properly rated. I think everybody realizes that it's a very good single-player mode. It's not, like, weird. I know a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, Mario Kart needs, like, a story mode. It's like, does it? I don't know. Want to know what I do like, and I know for sure that I like? Mission mode.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine mission mode DLC just happens, like in 8D, like in Wave 5 or something like that. It's just like, you have 50 missions, there's leaderboards. Everybody would be like, yo, this kind of sick, right?
Yeah. No, I'll completely agree with you.
Yeah.
I'll completely agree with you on properly rated. I think that it might be even a little overrated in some cases because people are like, oh, I love mission mode, I need it back so much. It's like, it's more or less...
It's single-player content.
It's kind of the same thing. Like, you can it's just driving through tires or collecting coins. So I think it's properly rated in the fact that adding it back would be a welcome addition, but I don't think that not having mission mode, like, makes the game garbage dog shit and completely removes all single player content.
It's nice to have though, right? I think it's a perfectly legitimate thing to, like, when MK7 came out, it's like, all right, no competitions, not even mission mode. They're kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's a little disappointing. It's not like going to ruin my opinion of this game. I think it plays well. I enjoy it online, but like kind of disappointing. And I think that's the reasonable take, right?
Yeah.
All right. Bob on Battles. Or Bob on Blast on Double Dash and Switch. In Double Dash, I believe it's properly rated as a personal favorite. I think a lot of people really liked Bob-omb Blast in that game. I think it's underrated on the Switch. I think it's one of the most playable ones online. I don't think it's completely ruined by lag like I think Shine Thief and Renegade Roundup kind of are. And I still think it's very interesting in the fact that, you get to carry, 10 Bob-ombs at once. I think that adds an element of strategy. And if you actually think about it, Bob-omb Blast is the only item mode in this game that's 100% skill-based if you think about it. You know what you are getting at every single pull. So it's up to you to execute. I think it's personally very fun. One of my favorite modes.
Yeah, I'm going to completely agree with you. I think that Bob-omb Blast, if all the modes worked properly, I think that, on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I think if they all worked properly, it would be like middle of the pack, right? I think Renegade Roundup would be a lot better than it. I think Coin Runners would be better than it, but that's just a personal thing. So yeah, I agree. I think being able to hold 10 bombs, really cool.
There's like an element of strategy there that you don't get really in the series otherwise.
And like, you know what to expect. You know what people are going to be throwing at you, and you know what you're going to be throwing at them every time.
Yep.
So I think it's pretty cool. I'll say it's properly rated to underrated, like a little bit in between.
Got it. All right. Let's keep it rolling. Luke is saying in the chat, MKWe tourneys were good when they were mission mode. Do this time trial, but wheel only or card only. Those ones suck.
Yeah, that's true. However, I think
I thought those were kind of funny. Why did you write Hooters, dude? What was in your bag? Like, what was the game plan?
I think all right. One thing about the tournaments, I think restricting people to controllers is like super cringe, especially
I can agree with that.
Like wheel only tournaments, super cringe.
Still waiting on that Nick Ives wife reveal, by the way. Don't know if it's ever gonna happen.
But like, if there is a tournament and it's like you have to use the biddy buggy in this tournament, but you can use like whatever wheels, character, glider, cart.
Imagine an AT tournament and it forces you to use slicks, dude.
Yeah, something like that. I think forcing people on a certain controller, cringe. Forcing them on any character, cart, wheels, totally fine.
Are you gonna tell Soldier what the name of the segment is, by the way?
Boo's a bad item. This is overrated, underrated, and properly rated. This is not host your hot takes.
Thank you for the clarification. Jade, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Guys, we're getting kind of close to the 1K. We may actually get it today if you all pop off the rest of the stream. But anyway,
let's get back. How many are we at right now?
994.
Okay.
All right, let's get back to the regular scheduled programming. You all are here for a reason. AT Inward tournament. I think that'd be kind of fun, honestly.
No, literally
I'd try it out, dude. All right. No. There should be an MMR system for Teams for Wars. Royal. What is the name of the segment?
Overrated, underrated, properly rated. Can we talk about?
How do I rate this?
I was gonna say, can we talk about should there be one or not? Like real quick.
I don't know.
Can I play tier A?
Does anybody remember the days of GG's Unranked? Does anybody remember that? Because we tried this once. And what happened was nobody played because nobody could ever get their best lineup. So it was just tournaments and we played maybe one scrim where it happened. GG's Unranked. Yes.
Yeah, I think...
It wasn't really good in practice.
I think there's just too much... if there's MMR for teams, it's okay, what?
How about we do a team circuit with team rankings instead of MMR, IMO?
I mean,
or even just 6v6 squad queue, right?
6v6 squad queue is fine, except for when you queue up at 11 p.m. and you see Gilgamesh, Yuru, and 4 other people that you don't know, which is really annoying.
I want to play them. I want to beat them, dude.
Well, you can be my guest. Please snipe us. But yeah, no. I think that having team MMR, someone did a thing. I think it was Senda. He did a thing, and it's what teams had the highest MMR, and StarClan was number 1. It's and at that time, StarClan was not the best team in the community. They have never been the best team in the AD community. But they had the highest MMR. So it's what does that say about the whole thing? And I think that having team MMR a Team MMR like leaderboard, it's like, what is that for? We already know who the best teams are because of tournament results.
I think
And if they were to play like this, then they would
let's
just still be
explore
the
this a
best.
little bit more. Actually, I think that we really need to have a focus on in this community on actual tournaments and the results instead of just matches that a lot of people treat as pickup games. I think it's good when there's events that have stakes. It's a win now or win never kind of moment. I think that is personally, what makes competitions, right?
Yeah.
That's why we play the game, right? It's like, were the Chiefs or Eagles the better team? Who knows? But the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, right? That's something tangible, right? I mean, that you cannot take that away from them. I don't know. I don't like the idea of needing like necessarily like a leaderboard for. I like the idea of rankings when it's like done like how the Smash community does them, where it's like for a period of time, it's like this was the best team for this era.
We had those in AD, but the way we handled them was kind of like awful, I think.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea with bad execution again. And we should explore it again in the future.
And I kind of think that Team MMR is pointless, right? Like it's like why do you want it? To see how we stack up against other teams?
I think the idea of MMR is just like I think that should be more for matchmaking, right?
Yeah.
Than like
and it's
anything
like,
else.
If you want to see how you stack up against other teams, just play against them.
Yeah.
Like it's fine.
I'm with you. We're ignoring Diogo's question right now. Do not answer, please. All right,
it's properly rated.
Dry as a bagging track. Now I don't know because it used to be like incredibly overrated, in my opinion. I think it used to be like historically overrated, but the community I think has woken up to the fact that I think there are better alternatives in 66 matches personally. So I don't really know. I'd say I'm kind of leaning from properly rated to still overrated just because I think a lot of lower div teams still use it as a go-to instead of exploring other options. I don't think, the idea of bagging tracks, I think it's like you're just picking it because you want to like have like kind of like every bagging track kind of acts as like a 50-50 in a sense. Not like necessarily in luck, but like just, creating an even matchup, if you will. Like in Smash, you have like these matchups that are bad and stuff. It's kind of like, oh, right, what track is this? Oh, this is tough to win in this situation. All the bagging tracks are kind of like, oh yeah, pretty even chance here. So if you want to pick it, it's probably because your team likes it and you guys feel comfortable on it. I don't think there's really anything to really say about, each bagging track and like how good of a bagging track it actually is. But that's just me.
Yeah, I'll say overrated. Like obviously when the game came out, that Cheese and RMC were like the ones. But now we have other options, and I don't like it because it's so long, and it's really long and boring.
You have to get double shock pretty much to get any consistent results.
Like there's always going to be a first shock within like the same like 20-second span from the last set on the first lap to the second set on the second lap. Always gonna be a shock like around that time, but the real shock that matters is the one that happens at the end of the race.
I remember talking to Felix, and he's like, "Oh yeah, my strategy on desert is to like literally like dodge the opponents or something like that, just so we can get another one or something like that."
And if you dodge the second shock, then cool, you win. If you don't dodge the second shock, cool, you lose. And if there is no second shock, cool, you lose. Yeah. So it's just really stupid. I don't like it.
All right, let's keep moving on. Royal on Roy Scooty.
I don't want to spend too long on this one.
One word answer. Know. Or two if it's properly.
Nah, you go first. I'll think about it.
I don't remember your Scooty era, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know.
Properly rated, I guess. Roy on Royal, or yeah.
We'll just say it was rated. We'll say rated.
All right, rated. All right, Inkling Feet.
You want to go first?
I'll go first on this one. I'll go first on this one. I might get some blowback for this one. Inkling Feet went on the greatest tournament run in the history of this game. And that is almost entirely what we remember a few years later, I think.
Yeah.
As a result, it's like, I think, like if we're talking like skill-wise and all that kind of stuff, or like achievement-wise, I think historically now they are a little bit overrated because we remember the Amplify run and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to say anything about like their team culture personally because from what I could tell, they were a very fun team, kind of like a story of like, you know, making your way to the top, right? I remember they were like in lower divisions to start as Inflow. They made it to the top. Like, that's props to them. That it takes very good leadership to do that. It takes, you know, a good culture to do that. But like, if we're talking like, you know, based on like solely like on the achievement and stuff, I think like the legacy that one run in Amplify had, maybe like it's like a one hit wonder in a sense, right? Because it was so good, right? So I don't know. I'm not taking like any jabs at like, you know, like the team like as it is, because I think they're like one of the best stories in the community's histories personally. But
yeah, I'm gonna double down. I'm gonna say overrated as well, and I think that they wouldn't be overrated if because they
like
played in the Amplified tournament and they got
it's like a
second,
victim of their own success in that event in this
yeah.
regard, right? It's weird.
And then they made it to D1 and they kind of crashed and burned. Let's be honest. How did they finish?
In there.
Was it like 1-9 or 2-8, something like that?
I don't know. D1's hard though.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say a little overrated. Sorry. Mm-hmm. Like what they did was incredible, but they couldn't hang on.
There wasn't a ton of longevity also, because I remember like a lot of the members went to SX also. But I mean, I think the fact that like, you know, like a lot of their members are still hanging around and playing together is something commendable, and I think that's more important personally than like what a lot of the even top teams do right now. Sometimes, you know, top teams come and go, do like one season or like just 2 or 3 and stuff. So I don't know. I think they definitely have like one of the better legacies in the community in general. All right. Jinja saying Big Blue. This is our first track option here.
Why does this guy have alpha male in his name, dude? A true alpha male.
Waco Adams, dude.
A true alpha male does not need to let the other people know that they are an alpha male.
Nick Adams, parentheses, alpha male, in parentheses, made that very clear, Jinja. So, yeah, I don't know. As for Big Blue, I don't know. I'm going properly rated, I think.
I'm gonna go properly rated as well, right? Like
it's kind of funny, right? I think nobody is like seriously like saying, "Oh yeah, Big Blue's like one of the best courses in the game." I think like people like think it's funny. I don't think it's the worst course in the game to play. I feel like it gets picked about as much as it should, personally.
It's properly rated, and I think that people's main gripe with it is that it's decided by the one item set, which is true.
But we know that, and we judge it accordingly.
You know what to expect.
And nobody's overrating or underrating it.
Yeah.
Remember, this is not good or bad. This is overrated, underrated, properly rated.
And that's because people don't want to pick the track because they know it's decided by that item set, so they don't want to like lose the dice roll and just get messed up because of it. So,
all right. So we're in agreement here.
Yep.
All right. Mafia from Artie. I think we may be talking about a different thread here. I don't want to get into that shit personally. Do you know what he's talking about?
I'm not 100% sure.
All right. There's a quote about a team in the community that Artie may be a part of, being the Mafia.
Oh, that's very funny.
It was unfortunately my fault that the conversation happened, but. I'm just gonna double down and reiterate. We should not be talking about season 17 seedings in 2023. Let's move on.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Up.
Night, in perhaps the most unsurprising turn of events ever.
Yeah, obviously, dude.
Says offline and land Mario Kart. So I'll go first on this one. This is a properly rated, in my opinion, because of like it evening out, right? Personally, I think like some of the best experiences I've had in this game have been at LAN tournaments. That's where we got to hang out, right? That was a fun time.
Yeah.
I thought that
and
was...
I'm 1-0 over you.
Yeah,
lifetime.
Yeah, and you'll never go to another event because you're a bitch.
That's actually what you think.
Oh, let's go. Okay. Royal. He's going to surprise us. It's something. We'll see what happens. But some of my best memories in the MK community comes from LAN tournaments. Really, I have a lot to be grateful for in that regard, especially since Ohio has a very promising start and scene and all that. We got new tournament series, on the way also. That looks really, really cool down in Sensi now. With that being said, I think until the community shows that they are willing, to get out and travel and, have these experiences together, that, Knight's lobbying for, the LAN community is going to come across as overrated, because it's like, well, where's, the great history and all that kind of stuff yet? Like, we have to build it. So while I think the potential is very massive, and I think, we could have, incredible times together, incredible events, really hoping that MomoCon can be that, that thing that really pushes us to the next level this year. I think it kind of evens out. I think very high potential hasn't got there yet. So a lot of hype, but a lot of people also sleeping on it simultaneously. I'm going properly rated as of right now.
Yeah, I'll lean to I'll yeah, like what Cinda said in chat.
Cinda
That's
may be
exactly
right
what I
right
was
now.
gonna say. I'm going in between underrated and properly rated. I think if you're looking for like the peak of competition, if you're looking for the pinnacle, highest level of competition, I don't think you're ever gonna find that in a LAN event, right? And that's because a high
Well,
level lobby.
that France tournament, the 4v4v4, a
Well,
while
yeah,
back,
but
that was an
if there's not
exception.
if there's not okay, if there's not a $4,000 prize, how many people are going to that?
I'll see. I mean, $4,000
And
prize is not off the table from what I can tell right now.
Yeah, I mean, but once
It's a
again,
culture thing, though.
I'm thinking like if you're looking for the pinnacle of competition, you have to play online because top lobbies usually have like at least 6 or 7 countries. 5 or 6 countries is fine, right?
Yeah.
But I think going to LAN events in person and meeting people and just having a fun time, I think that's completely underrated. Because meeting people that you've met
Yeah.
online through games is a very fun experience.
And
Just being able
that's
to hang
personally
out with everybody
that's how it
is very
begins,
fun.
though, is the other thing to mention. It's just like, if, like, people go to this event and have a good time, it's like, people are like, maybe this is something I need to, kind of save up for, like the next year or something. And before you know, it's like, you might have a situation. I personally think a situation where we have like 96 community players at an event, and some quality ones at that. I mean, I think that's achievable, and I think you could have a very good finals.
It's difficult.
As well.
It's difficult.
It is very difficult. Yes. We'll continue to see how it progresses, though. I think, but definitely an interesting one. Any closing comments? No.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a LAN tournament near you, like the one I went to in Boston. I got like a couple weeks heads up. It was like a couple hours away from me, and Ricky messaged me. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be in town. You should go to this. I'm gonna try and get other people to go." It'd be fun. It was fun. It was a good time. It was worth going. And yeah, just meeting friends that you've met, that you made online, is a very fulfilling experience. So I think you should go to one if you can.
The other thing that is tough is like you also like want to make sure you're getting into something good, right? It's like, like somebody mentioned Ohio's ahead and all of that, and it's like, well, the reason why Ohio's ahead is because we have like people in the community that have built something, but it's like, how do you start? Like, do you know that's this is like what I want to see resulting from regional rumble types of tournaments. Like, I think regional rumble would like be much more of a success in my book if it was like getting people to talk to each other about events and all that kind of stuff, because I think a lot of it's just like the anxiety of reaching out or like knowing if you have like somebody near you that's like gonna be worth it to work with, right? So
yeah.
All right. Teeple says RWS isn't a top choice for top spots now due to item box respawn rate update. Now, Royal.
This is overrated, underrated, properly rated.
Yes.
But if this were right or wrong, he
statement.
would be wrong. If this were right or wrong, he would be wrong. So it would have started to fall off by now.
Yeah. I think I'm with you on this one also. Is it better or worse than it used to be? I don't know. Maybe a little bit. I feel like I think RWS might be an overrated top spot pick, but I think it's still a very good one. And until it isn't a very good one, it will justify itself like in the metagame just necessarily because it still is good for those spots, I'd say. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Not a I don't know. Wasn't the perfect, I guess, commentary here. All right. Brandon says, kind of a random one, but I remember back in 8U there used to be prediction streams. Well, they're basically just a way of boosting or shattering teams' players' egos. They were fun to watch, provided that the casters were knowledgeable. Did I comment on this one?
Yeah, you can start. I have a little bit to say, but you go first.
Those threads were the original overrated, underrated, properly rated to begin with.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh,
I remember Teeps like having to put a disclaimer just because I pick you to be last. What a fuck did Fox News, dude? 204, whatever. We're not doing that tonight. All right. Still remember you had to put the disclaimer because it's like, I don't hate your team just because I put you last. Like, just somebody has to be last, and people cannot understand that, right? Personally, I think that the prediction streams were overrated. I guess they were kind of funny. Everybody likes hearing what some random person that doesn't know anything about them thinks of them. I thought it was just a waste of time, though. Like, who fucking cares? Like, I care about the results of the matches, right? I think that's the most important thing. I feel like I remember there was a point in time where one of my hot takes was people need to start caring about getting better more than they care about the results that people think. Like, or people care more about what people think than they actually do about like playing the game itself. I remember thinking that at one point in time.
Yeah.
Swordless. Is this is? I don't know. Thank you for the follow though. If I mess it up, let me know. We're at 995 now.
So I wasn't around for these, but they just sound overrated, right? I think that's like overrated. I think that's way too much theatrics to put into like a freaking prediction stream. And
remember, there used to be like 4 divisions back then, not like 20.
Well, yeah, I think how it was on the MKC forums, totally fine. Someone can post, hey, here's a list of all divisions. If you want to make predictions, go for it. If you don't, just click off the thread. I think that's the best way to handle it.
Mm-hmm. I'd agree with you.
We don't need to do like an hour or 2 long stream. For like, yeah, I think Team A will go 3 and 5. It's like, what the hell, dude? That's pointless.
Royal.
Yeah. Oh boy.
We've got a good one coming up. I'm sure there will be no controversy on this one whatsoever.
I actually don't think so. Right?
Do you want me to go first?
It sounds like you want to go first.
Do you want to go first? I don't mind.
Yeah, I'll go first.
It will not change my opinion. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So I think, look. The country of Spain and myself, we've had our differences, okay? I don't think that's any secret. I don't think it's any secret. Well, however, I think TX, I'm going to, once again, it's a spectrum. I'm going to go in between underrated and properly rated. I think they kind of had like inkling feet syndrome, right? Where they hit a great run and then they just kind of...
They got the win. Straight up though.
Yeah. Like but they kind of died off, right? They like literally died off and went to like RK or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people don't value their win as much because it was in that Mickey, as I'm referring to it, the Mickey season.
Yeah.
Where anything could happen. So I'm gonna lean underrated, but I would have liked to see them stay around. Not only so I could have competed against them, but so to see if they were the real deal. And I think with RK, they have proved
the community would have been better if TX and RK stayed separate and was continued to be rivals.
Absolutely,
I think.
Yeah, and I think
I think they were both capable of winning. So
yeah, and I think the community would have been better if BRE and GE stayed their own thing, but that's a whole nother can of worms.
Mm-hmm.
But I think TX, I'm gonna say it on the air, more underrated than properly rated, and I wish they had stayed around and played like a real season, because I can't remember if they played the season after that, but I would have liked them to stay around and prove that they were the real deal.
Okay. I agree with you, and I think I'm going to take it one step further, actually. I think they were just straight up underrated.
Yeah,
so
okay,
I know there's a lot of people in the chat who are not the biggest fans of TX, personally. But, look, I'm going to be realistic. I've watched a lot of teams leave and enter this community. Teams that have been contenders and all that kind of stuff. And it's hard to win. Like, it's very hard to win. You can do everything right. You can have a good culture and everything. And a lot of people thought, like, oh, a lot of the players on this team weren't like, individually, like, masters or diamonds and lounge and stuff. But I think that is kind of what let them kind of slide under the radar in a little bit. Like, it is an achievement to win a tournament of any kind, I think. Let alone in MKU, even in, like, a down season and all that. Like...
Yeah,
I think that's a big deal, personally.
I'm not taking away from their win. They beat good teams to get there.
And I'll say it also, as a team leader of the team that won the other side of that tournament. And you guys are all going to hate me for this. And we've won Season 19 now also. So, I have no biases anymore. I value that Season 15 win quite a bit still. I think it's big.
I'm not saying that I don't value their win.
Yeah.
I value their win. However, I wish they could have stayed around.
I agree.
And
to defend it, right? Defend the
yeah,
title.
and show us that they were the real deal. Like, through and through.
I could agree. But yeah, I think overall, I would say that they're definitely a bit underrated. It's hard to win tournaments. I think even I know there are a lot of people that's like they had a close match against WF2 and like one of the players literally just stopped at the line. You can call it Mickey Mouse if you want, but like they still had to go to winners finals, win grand finals, win. I don't think they dropped a game in grand. I don't think they dropped at the game in grand finals either. Like I think that's
I can't remember.
I don't think they did. I think that's
yeah.
And even in the second half of that season, like I think they lost to us, and we went on to be the champs in the second half, and they still got like top 4. Like I think it was a good run still, even after like the first half and all of that. So
yeah,
I think I had like another comment on it, but I don't remember exactly. I think it's just again, it's like a lot of players that you would think almost overachieved in a sense when you go like to like the lounge MMR kind of stuff, because I don't think a lot of them were like super highly rated and stuff. But I mean, I think that's a testament to I guess what they built and stuff. I think they were good 6v6 players, which is very important in teams play.
And I completely agree with Cinda in the chat. Like I wish they would come back. I also kind of wish that that would happen, but I think that since there's no I don't even know how to describe it or say it, but there's no reason to not stack the deck, right? Like there's no reason to not just take the best players on the planet and put them all on the same team, which is what we're kind of seeing GE do, right? They're getting Starlo, Dam, like, and they were on other teams before. I think the game was more competitive when the kind of top players were spread out a little bit, right?
Kind of like
but
after WF like left their activity.
Yeah, and there's no reason to not stack the deck right now. Yeah. There's no reason to not stack the deck, but I think.
Well, stacking the deck also like puts pressure on other teams to try to do the same, and then it's like you just kind of get.
Yeah,
like,
but that's just really lame, which is
agree.
why I liked how we did that the TCR test league thing, Sky League test, whatever it was.
So the UML
where we had
thing
an auction.
The
where
UML
we had an
thing that you
auction.
called overrated 45 minutes ago.
Well, yeah, but that's because everyone that signed up for it was like, okay, we're going to play this and sign up, and
I think it was fun personally. Obviously, it's my tournament idea, so of course I'm gonna.
I think it was fun because the teams were like all relatively balanced.
I think it could have been better.
You have
also.
a certain amount of credits to spend.
Like realistically speaking, that could be improved. And I think having 4 captains in that situation was like not great because, like Sin and Chibi are good players, right? They should not have gone for like over half of a budget. Like I'm sorry.
I disagree. I completely disagree.
You think so?
Spending 61 credits on Sindo was a very smart decision.
We literally like the team I was on literally blew them out in like the final round, and like nobody like went over like 30.
We got second. We got second place.
You got we blew out that team harder than the other 2 teams, from what I remember. I don't know.
We beat the other teams. We got second place.
Okay, it's fair enough.
I would do it again. I'd spend 62 on Sinda.
I think if there were more, what do you call it? If there were more captains and stuff, I think that these decisions would balance themselves a little bit more also. I don't know if that makes sense.
I would have been much better off if there wasn't a captain in there who was like purposely trying to snipe me.
Yeah.
Joel absolutely was trying to snipe me. That was messed up. I'll take Lee for X amount of credits. He goes, okay, I'll take him for X plus 1, and I couldn't do it.
That's auction, dude. I was
just uncalled for.
You have to know when to stop, because like you can't get married to players, dude. It's like you can be like, all right, that's too much. Pivot to another game plan. You don't have to have Cinda. You can pick other good, and if you don't get him, you can perhaps pick 2 players instead, right? So I don't know. We'll see.
No.
If you think that. No. If you think he is that much better than the rest of like the competition, I suppose, but I think it was still too much.
No, Joel literally admitted that he was sniping me.
Oh my god.
Like, what is this?
All right,
Look,
let's
dude,
move on.
it's collusion in the chat. It's collusion. It is.
Yeah. All right. Double Dash land mode.
I think that's like a. Is that one thing, or is that like Mario Kart Double Dash and land mode?
No. So if you remember.
Yeah.
Well, let me get it out. Hopefully I don't knock down my posters. If you see my camera, you won't see it. The chat will. So you see.
No, I have the stream
up. See,
I'm
there
looking.
are two. Hold on. Let me make sure that we can see this. Oh wait, hold on. My camera's just not on there. Oh no, it is. It's just I was looking at Discord. I'm dumb. So as you can see, Double Dash, there are 2 exclamation points. That's not like just being excited about the game. That is like officially a part of the title. So when Steeler over here says it with 2 exclamation marks, he is quite literally just saying the title of the game. Right? It's not like Double Dash and then land mode. It's like, no, Mario Kart Double Dash land mode. He definitely is talking about the built-in land mode in Double Dash, right? Here's the thing. I've never played it. I'm not sure I ever will, because you need hella game cubes for that. Hella game cubes. With that being said, it is overrated, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I've heard that you do not get to pick your characters at all. It just kind of happens. I don't know if you get to pick your tracks. I know the characters are like random or something like that. And obviously not everybody can, just use like the lightweight characters in the barrel tree. And my gut feeling is like, while it would be great if, you could duplicate characters and all that kind of stuff and play 16 people. I don't know if you can even play 16 people. I think just 4-player, everybody controls their own duo is probably the best mode of competitive Double Dash play as of right now, based on what I know. Because, you think, 16 people potentially. I don't know if 16 can even play, but like 8 people playing all at once sounds epic, but I don't know if it actually is in hindsight. And a lot of people are just piggybacking off of a driver, right? But yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna abstain.
Okay.
Like I've
That's
never played it.
Yeah.
I've never played, and I don't love Double Dash as a game, so I'm just gonna abstain.
Got it. All right. Kuba Guy giving us an actual take on this one. I'm just gonna say it, properly rated. We all know what Mushroom Peaks is. We all properly rate it. I'm not even going to say if it's good or bad, because you all know exactly what I know already.
Yeah.
We know this. I think it's properly rated.
Yeah, it's properly rated. I think Mushroom Peaks would be a lot better if it was 2 laps.
I'd probably agree.
I think that would actually... I think if it was 2 laps, it would make the track, like, actually worth being in the pack. But right now, the reason that it's in the pack is because it's Mr. Bean's child.
Pretty much.
Like you do.
Yep. All right. Let's move on. Importance of individual play and being good at lounge. As a lounge hater, I would say underrated personally. I think you need to be able to hold your own to play at any level of this game. I know a lot of people, and I'm gonna keep going with the importance of being fast also. I know a lot of people say or a lot of people are like, oh hey, being quick isn't everything. There's a lot of other things you do. It's like, yeah, but being quick is very important. As somebody who's not quick, I can attest to that. I think both of the first 2 are underrated facets.
Yeah, so individual play and being good at lounge, once again, they are, like Power says in the chat, they're different things. I think being good at lounge is not super important. But being
importance of individual play though.
Being good at the game individually is obviously very important, because then you can hold your own in tournaments, whether it be Mogi or 6v6. Importance of being fast / TTs. I don't know. Time trials that aren't shroomless with your main combo, they don't really matter.
They can matter.
I'm gonna toot my own horn here.
Well, here's the thing. Sorry, go ahead.
I had the world record on Yoshi Valley, but it uses Baby Daisy and the Biddy Buggy. No one's ever gonna use that combo online, so that time trial literally does not matter at all.
Well, who's to say
how I play Yoshi Valley online?
Who's to say online is more important than time trials, though?
It really depends how you look at the game.
Yeah.
But if you want to compete against other players live, then you are playing online.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like online the most as well. Cinda says some of the highest since it says some of the highest ranked lounge players are the easiest hit in wars, it's like, all right, well, what if these players care about lounge more than wars and stuff? It's all about your frame of reference, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And Jacob said he wants us to rank these things.
Okay, so this is like
rank them 1, 2, 3, or he said like relative to each other.
It's run past boot. It's run past boot. I think. I don't know if that's like a commonly used
start bench cut.
Yeah, start bench cut's another. Fuck, marry, kill. That's another one.
Okay.
It's that kind of thing. I'll do run past boot. Run means like that's like your best, I guess. This is crazy because like I'm like team play / call out centric player and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So maybe like I have a bias, but I feel like it's like almost like an anti-bias where I feel like, oh yeah, everybody should just be able to do that because like I feel like being fast in TT is like harder per se to do like the top and all that kind of stuff. So like if I was like picking skills like to start like if I could like maximize my sliders or something, if you will, I would probably do being quick actually as my run. I would say like for pass I'd probably do individual play and all that kind of stuff, and boot team play and callouts. And it's probably just because like I feel like team play and callouts is like the easiest to learn. Maybe I don't know.
So what I think is it's kind of interesting how you said max your sliders
over speed.
Now I'm thinking about it differently, right?
That's an interesting take, actually. Yeah.
I would like leave time trials at negative because you can practice the tracks like online, if that makes any sense. Like
being fast is different than being good at TT, though.
Well, yeah, okay.
Like Chibi doesn't TT one bit, but I'm pretty sure he's pretty quick.
Yeah, so. Chibi's very fast. It doesn't TT.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say, I mean, it depends, right? If you want to be the most well-rounded player in any, like, if you can get airdropped into any format in any room and you want to be the most rounded player, I think you put the most points in team play and callouts, mainly team play.
Okay.
I think you put the second most in, well, for me, like individual play and being fast, because like you have to be kind of fast to be good at individual.
I want to point out also that like being fast online, like I feel like does that count consistency like on its own? Because it's like, like if you can do this 90% of the time where you're pretty great, but like you're against like a player that's like 50% amazing, 50% like a circus, like who's faster? Like because if like the one guy's average time is faster than the other guy, like is that still being faster? There's a lot of gray area on this, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense.
I don't know. So what I would do is, I'm putting most of my points in team play, but that's just me personally.
That's what I've chosen to focus on. I'm not sure if like psychologically it's just because like I'm a team leader or I feel like it's easier for me to
and I think
all that kind of stuff.
I think we're kind of in the same boat because ever like since I started playing the game, I've been like leading the team. And except for when we stopped playing the first time and I joined Zealous.
By the way,
I joined Zealous. It was like Dax and Demon taught me everything, right? Like I was shy to say things, and Dax Jimmy's like, if you have something to say it. Like you have it to say for a reason. And so I started doing it, and that made me like a lot better at the game. And when BL came back after that, we like noticeably improved, and I was able to help my teammates get better at the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that I've just always been a call leader, and so it's kind of hard to adapt. It's kind of hard for me to adapt to calls that I like am not the leader in, but I'm working on it.
I think if like we're looking at this like through the lens of like 6v6, there's an easy argument for team play and callouts to be like the most important. Because like you can have like 6 very talented players, but if like there's no synergy, it will be a mess. I mean, we've seen like quote super teams like just get rocked by like teams that like I guess have synergy and all that kind of stuff. Like in this community, like we see it sometimes, like in the NBA, for instance. Like, like I think that like, maybe we call it the Nets, right, with their big three. Like, I guess there's like injuries involved, but like Bucks beat them, and like I was expecting that. The Celtics beat them. I think everybody was expecting that, right? So I think like like team crafting and all that kind of stuff, and like I think that stuff matters quite a bit in the lens of 6v6. But like in terms of like what's easiest to teach, that's like another thing, right? I'm not doing anything about that, Luke. It's been years, dude. I'm not trying to justify anything. I say I'm a D3 player. That may be generous on its own. I don't deny it.
Dude, the crying emoji
on Twitch,
extremely
dude.
Underrated. So underrated.
No, the sob emoji. It's the sob emoji.
Excuse me, sob. Oh wait, on Twitch I'm over it says distressed. So underrated.
Yeah. All right. I think I had like another thing to mention, but I've lost it now.
We have talked about this for way too long.
Luke rudely interrupted me. 200cc was better before the booster course pass. Royal, what's the name of the segment?
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
That may be true, Nick. I don't know. I haven't really played 200cc
I don't give a shit.
before it, so I can't really say anything.
We already talked about IF.
We have talked about IF. I don't really know much about IF. What even is this? Okay, Julo.
Okay. IF2 was pretty good. Remember they like almost beat us in a tournament, or they didn't like almost beat us, but they lost by not as much as I thought we would beat them by. So
yes,
they were good.
Chibi's got a team opinion right here, a new one. This one, in my opinion, is a massively underrated. Here, I don't think people realize that like just because they were like a second team, I don't think people realize that this was like a legitimate contending team at one point in time.
And I think that part of the reason why people think they're underrated is because like nobody knows about them,
dude. There was like a season we played, like we recruited Xander. He may be here. I think I saw him working earlier, but like we recruited Xander, like when he was like at the top of his game, right? And we played our first tournament with him. We had an insane comeback against JBZZ, the first team of Julo in the finals. We win the tournament. We're feeling great. We're rolling into like the next MKU season. It's like, guys, we might be contenders. We play DeJulo, whatever it is. Yeah. Week 1, it's like, all right, second team, we're gonna roll them, and they beat us by 106. The same like turn. I don't know if it's 100. I think it was 106.
Yeah.
439. That seems familiar. They rolled us by over 100 though, and I was like, what the fuck just happened? And I remember like not like thinking like that they were that good, and then every time we kept playing them, I was like, no, these guys are actually contenders, straight up. Probably the best second team to ever do it in AD, maybe ever.
I don't think that's like I don't think the greatest second team to ever do it is like a very high bar.
There's been some D1 teams I know, but
well, yeah, I know, but like most second teams are like
they're
so
built
they can
to
have
not
like lower
be
division
contenders.
players. But I think
what is James doing here? Is he like is he saying like? Why are we pointing out? Look, I know I scored 38 points, but we won this war. I'm just pointing it out. Okay.
38 points, LOL.
Is this like an under? Is this like tweet itself like the overrated underrated? Like, is this like? Okay, flows hacking.
Can we not watch this right now? Why are we
James
watching
is asking me to evaluate this clip. He's
okay,
literally
dude,
a cheater, dude.
That's bullshit.
All right, so we win this war by 2. Is this overrated or underrated? Like, I mean, it's pretty. I don't know. Like, I guess properly rated, right? It's like he cheated, so I don't feel like super.
Dude,
like,
what is that? He's cheating.
He is cheating, but it's like, I mean, this is to win a war by 2. It didn't blow up that much, so like, I think properly rated, I guess. All right,
we're not talking about this. I'm done talking about this.
Soul at its
peak. I don't know, underrated, I guess. Underrated.
I think properly rated. Like they were a team that got to D1, pretty certain. I don't remember them having a good season in D1, but everybody like respected them as opponents.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they did not have much variability. Like you knew what you were getting with Soul. I feel like. And as a result, I can't really say anything but properly rated because they didn't really give teams like a chance to like rate them otherwise. I think. So I don't know. I mean, they won D2 a few times.
I'm gonna scale D1. Once again, for me, it's a scale in between under and proper, for me.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, last word on Julo. It's like WF did have 2 teams in D1 at some point, Jacob, but WF2 is not a contender in the same way that Jula was, I think.
WF2 was like 4 points
good.
away from winning that Mickey season, so I don't.
They weren't 4 points away from winning that season. They were 4 points away from beating the team that won the season, which is very different. Very different. We can't say that Kevin Durant wins the championship for the Nets if his foot isn't on the 3-point line just because it was against the Nets.
That's fair.
Like, be realistic here. You know, sometimes you situationally also have like a very good match against like a team, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. Unless it's like the actual championship, I don't think you can use that argument. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think we covered Seoul enough, right?
Yeah.
World Cup overall, including the 2020 World Japan. Okay. We kind of did this already with like the region-based tournaments and all that. Pretty much every region-based tournament, in my opinion, is kind of overrated. That's just how I see it.
Yeah.
There's been situationally like amazing matches, right? A lot of the France-USA matches come to mind. That came down to the last race. There are a lot of really memorable moments, right? That's why we had that epic trailer for the last one that we did, but I don't know. I think its reputation definitely precedes it. I think I made a video kind of on that subject for a little bit too, but yeah, I'm going overrated.
Yeah, I think World against Japan is like peak overrated because only like 12 or so people play, and it usually happens like in the morning when all the Americans are asleep, so like nobody really watches.
My issue with my issue with War in Japan is it doesn't feel like it's like a thing for like the best players of the year, but it feels like Team War is like a resting sub clan. That's sometimes
it's always been.
I can't take it seriously until like it becomes like based on like the year. I guess.
People, I know there are a couple War members in the chat. It's kind of been like it's been a popularity contest. The team was decided in 2018, 2019.
I'm not going to hate on it, right? But like,
I'm not hating either.
I just don't take it like that seriously.
I'm not hating either because the players that are there deserve to be there.
Yeah.
But I think there was 1 year, I don't remember what year it was, when I felt like I at least deserved a shot to try. Like, would I have made it? No, but I think that I deserved a shot to kind of put my hat in the ring.
Yeah.
But it's been the same players every time, and except there's one player usually who like gets switched out for someone new.
Yeah.
But
there's been a few seasons where like I feel like some HG members have like deserved like the opportunity or like have been like a top 10 player over the course of the year, but like there's just not a spot for them in a sense because it's like you know, this team, the team A has synergy, team B has synergy, like what are you gonna do? It's like, you know, technically speaking, it's like because of the synergy that's already there, it's already like it's technically optimal for them to run with it like that. But like I feel like the point of War Japan shouldn't just be, you know, lazily like, oh yeah, we know this works and we know this works, but taking, like, in my opinion, it would be best. It's like, all right, 12 best players, they're your starters. Figure it out. You're all good and should be able to communicate with some practice. That's how I see it.
I mean, it's just the same thing every year, and I think
good matches, but yeah.
This year's world team I would be extremely surprised if there is any more than 2 different people from last year. So if you want to know what the team's going to look like this year, go look at the team from last year. Like that's
the other thing also like about War versus Japan is like Japan's like not even the reigning World Cup champs anymore. So like why does the entire world have to go after them? Like that kind of destroys the idea of it. I guess like they have more like does Japan have that much more depth than France at this point?
Yes.
Like, I guess, but like in 6v6, I'm taking France. In a
6v6 of like the best players, I'm taking France.
I feel like a 12v12 like with France, Japan's like I feel like it could be interesting though.
Yeah, it would be very interesting, but 12v12, I'm taking Japan because I think Japan B smashes Japan, or France B, excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah, what if it was World against Japan against France, right? You take like
just 4v4s, just eight player rosters.
No. You do
oh yeah, it's just like
you do like round robin or something. Like
whoever
World plays
goes
France and Japan, and then France plays Japan.
Oh wait.
World.
And what if we add America to this, and then England, and then Germany, and then we just have World Cup?
No, because
where the teams actually make sense.
Teams. I mean, yeah, Jacob, they do 12v12, but like, there's no 12v12 of France against Japan. It's 12v12 against the best players in the world.
World Cup isn't
against
competitive,
the
but
best players in Japan.
World Cup isn't competitive, I guess, but war versus Japan still feels arbitrary, is I guess my point of it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, what's the point of world versus Japan? And I said that one time to someone, and I was like, why is it not? Oh fuck, I was supposed to water my plant yesterday.
Damn.
Sorry.
It'd be like that.
I was like, why isn't it world against France? And they've like, well, yeah, it's always been that way. Like, it's always been that way. It's like, yeah, that's because they won every time. So why isn't it world against France? And then they're like, well, Team World would just be like a lot of Japan. And then you slot like Roble or Thomas in there, and then there's kind of a language barrier. But like Roble already plays Summit League with Gamma, so he knows. And I don't know.
All right, I think we've done this one enough. Let's keep going. Lounge 66, in my opinion, is properly rated, mainly because it doesn't exist anymore, and I'm good with that. I think everybody's good with that. So, in my opinion, it's properly rated. Sorry, Varo. Y'all were just trolling. We all know you were trolling. You just wanted to ruin the event for everybody else and laugh and call, I believe.
Yeah.
That's how I saw it.
So for me,
sometimes you just want to queue up, right, and just like chill. And it's like you can't do that in a 6v6. Like you have to join.
Once again, I'm on a spectrum, right, in between underrated and properly rated. I think it's underrated where if the fact that we could guarantee that everybody would like take it seriously and not troll, then I think that would be fine. But
like sometimes queuing up into a 66 lobby with like people you don't know, especially if language barriers, is also like challenging, I guess. Like sometimes it's just taxing and you don't want to do that. Like like it's like a blind side. Like you just queue up in the lounge and like everybody's just like, oh, 6v6 by the way, and then it's like, oh shit, like I'm just not I'm not ready for this.
I remember one time,
but you have to, or else you just don't win. It's like not viable to just like be.
I remember one time, late 2019, early 2020, I queued in the lounge and it was 6v6 and it was like mostly people not from Japan. And I was in call with like Xander and a couple others because that was my team, and that was a lot of fun, right? We all spoke the same language, we all played, and it was nice. I enjoyed it. And I see John in the chat say NA Lounge 66 would be fire.
TCR,
no, it would not.
Bro.
It would be
TCR,
a dumpster
bro.
fire.
TCR,
it
bro.
would be a dumpster fire. We literally
have
UML, and UML sucks. 66 Lounge would be fire, a dumpster fire. It would be trash.
I'm just saying, Roy.
We don't need it.
Auction draft nights, I'm saying, man, I thought it was fun. You said you thought it was fun too, so.
Yeah, but that's like when I get to, I don't know.
And 66 Lounge was like better, like in the old Lounge days where everybody just knew everybody. That's just not the community we have anymore.
Yes. When Tier B was Diamond through Gold.
That was amazing. I missed that so much. If we could queue with the boys,
those were literally the best days.
That was peak.
Yes.
That was peak.
That was peak.
I didn't even know I sucked yet because everybody sucked, dude.
It was great. I remember that one tweet with the circus music where Blaze's like, "Oh damn," or Rookie's like, "Oh no, I rolled Blaze."
Yeah.
and I rolled Bryce, and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was great.
Let's keep it going.
I'm not reading all that.
This is Royal. What is the name of the segment?
We are on overrated, underrated, or properly rated. Not read a long ass opinion.
Yeah, we are not agreeing or disagreeing with your opinion, Dylan. Rather, we can.
I'm not even reading it.
I can look at the first three letters, and we can go from there. How about that?
We already talked about it.
Wario Stadium?
Yeah, we talked about it.
I'd say slightly overrated. And it's one of my favorite tracks in the series, but slightly overrated. Slightly overrated.
Yeah.
All right. ZE. I'll say, this is tough. They're definitely not overrated, I'll say that. But are they properly rated or underrated? Now, I personally thought that ZE was going to win a few games in D1. I saw the progression. I saw the momentum. I saw the desire to want to be there. I knew they were going to train hard for it. It's what I expected this season. Like their first season D1, 3-7. That sounds about right to me. But I don't know if that's what everybody thought.
I played with them a couple times, and I'm gonna keep it 100. I was like, how are a couple of them did a couple plays. I was like, why would you do that? Like, how did you guys make it here doing those kinds of things? So I think that there's definitely a lot of room for growth, and I think that Blaze like kind of has to be the one to mentor them and help them get better at 6v6 because they're all very talented players. But I think they just don't know how to play with each other, and they don't know how to play 6v6 at a high level, which is totally fine. You're not supposed to know how when you first get there, because they all kind of just like appeared in their first season. They won D2, and now no, I played with Z a couple times. One time you were in the hotel and it was pissing me right off. Yeah, and I'm talking about another time, I think. But like, I just think that once they get more experience, I think they'll become a lot better, and I think they'll find their success. I think the first season in D1 they had was good for them.
Okay.
So
I think
we'll say
close. I'm not. I think
underrated, properly rated.
I'm about there also. I don't think they're overrated because I think that they've overachieved up to this point. So jury's still up on this one. Still very early. All right.
Yeah.
With Nair, I think we did this already with Vara's post.
We
66.
just did that.
Valor
I
is
kind of want to
asking
talk
a question.
about Valor's a little bit.
You want to talk
about it a little bit.
This is called overrated, underrated, properly rated, but you think this is interesting enough, right?
Well, I think it's worth talking about.
Okay, let's hear it. What do you got?
I'm gonna say hard yes, like straight up hard yes. 6v6 isn't dead though. 6v6 is not dead in the water, but like hard yes, because with 6v6 you need to queue up with 5 other people, and you can score 150 points and still lose. It did in Japan. 6v6 in Japan is dead, like straight up.
Here's the thing, though. It's like I think you're looking at the wrong lens, though. If like you're saying you can score 150 points and lose, because it's like if you're playing as a 66 player, what you score should not be like a point of emphasis at all. Like you should be identifying solely as like the team, of course. So
yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is like in lounge, it's a lot more rewarding to queue into lounge, score 130, gain 200 MMR, and then move on with your day. And the thing about lounge is you can play lounge at any time of day, especially if you live in Japan. But if you live in America,
then you host these streams instead because nobody's playing right now.
Yeah, if you live in America, we're sitting here just talking about nasty raid Santa, like what?
Yeah.
But like,
yeah, I don't know if we do that. I don't know which team that is. I remember Nasty.
No, that's not.
Is that the account? It's the Twitter account. Okay.
I think it's the Twitter account. I don't know shit about it, but like,
it's very toxic, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, we go overrated then.
No. So for lounge killing 6v6, and it's like lounge isn't super active during the hours. And if you live in America or Europe, you have like 2, maybe 3 hours of where you can war.
Yeah.
3 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Eastern, maybe 2 p.m. Eastern, maybe 5 p.m.
Maybe 2. 2 and 5.
But yeah, but like, so you have 4 hours, and the rest you can. But if you want to play lounge, you have to wake up early or stay up late. And even if you want like peak competition in lounge, then you're gonna have to wake up at like 7 in the morning to play, which is it's just cringe and it's unreasonable. But I think for Japan, it absolutely did because the Japanese players would rather spend the time that is like usually dedicated to warring, which is, 21, 22, 23, 24. They'd rather spend that time playing lounge because that's when they know that the peak competition is there.
Does anybody remember the MKWe community days where like you just searched for wars when you could and nobody worried about like it being 0-0?
That was fun.
I feel like more people like were willing to just play whoever back then. Everybody now is like, it's all division restricted now, so like there's like a limited pool of teams you can play, so it's like everybody has to find their matches. I don't know if it's better or worse, just like a hey, remember kind of thing. But anyway, I wouldn't say that it killed it entirely, but it's definitely made it less active than it could be, and I think that's a little bit sad. I think that 66 has so much going for it, but
66 is so fun.
There's some commitments to it, and
but like
here's the thing,
it's
though.
Absolutely.
MKU's bigger than really it's ever been and stuff like that, and there's still like the barrier of entry of finding teammates for that, but it is still thriving in spite of that. So I can't say that it's dead by any means.
Right. So I'm not. Yeah.
Maybe.
But I think the draw for 6v6 with newer players especially is getting to play with their friends, like watching the Aftermath YouTube channel. Shout out to my boys at Aftermath. Watching them doing that and just like hanging out playing MQ together as a team, like that's fun.
More
and if they probably don't
D1, dude, especially if your team doesn't last forever, right? It's just kind of like
they probably
they're having
don't
fun.
want to queue.
They're living
Yeah,
their
they
best
probably don't
lives.
want to queue in the lounge and
Yeah.
play against a ton of other Japanese people because they don't take the game very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
But like for people like us who like kind of care more about the game and want to win and be the best on the planet, queuing in the lounge just to improve as players is like something that is more appealing to us.
Yeah. All right. Any other comments? We moving on? Maybe?
Nah, we're good. I think
All
we're
right.
good.
All right, going on to pirate hackers next. This is an interesting one in my opinion because I think this is for sure one of the more I don't want to say controversial, but like one of the more storied teams in the history of the AD community, I think. So he says peak pirate hackers. So here's what I think. I think pirate hackers had like a ton of buzz, both positive and negative. So I don't know if like I want to go overrated or underrated on this.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly what results they got in 10 through 12 also for the seasons, but
I'm gonna abstain because like it doesn't really matter.
I just remember they won the division they played in like every single time. I felt like for quite a bit. I think it definitely does seem like group dependent, like Jacob mentions also. I think maybe I know they had like a good run in like the America's Cup also, where they got like top 3 and nobody expected that also. Because I think they had like moments where like they did things that people didn't expect them to do, but also like moments where like I don't know, they definitely like talked themselves up quite a bit as well. So I don't know exactly what it was. I think it just like depends on like who you are, I guess. If you saw them as overrated or underrated, I guess. I think I'm gonna probably go properly rated.
Yeah, I'll go properly, because like I don't really have a.
I kind of want to lean toward the overrated side, just because like I feel like the longevity thing matters to me and all that kind of stuff, and like they had like a very talented roster at one time, but like I wasn't certain like at any time if like I think like Darky and Ember are like a dynamic duo there or something. It's like I wasn't certain if like they were going to keep that peak era going for a super long time. And ultimately it wasn't like a very long peak also. But I guess if we're just talking about the peak itself, I guess probably properly rated. So I don't know. They're the most where are they now team.
I mean, yeah, Darky and Ember obviously overshadowed the rest of the team because they were two players who did not belong in Division. I don't know. They were in like D8, D7. They did not belong there.
They definitely moved. I think they got to D4 at one point.
I think they ended at like D4, but I think that's when I wasn't like really like paying attention around then.
Yeah, it's hard.
But
to say.
I don't care.
We skipping Nasty Raid Santa the account.
Yeah.
MKU drive.
MKU drive.
This one's a good one.
I want to go first. I'm
it.
just gonna abstain because I didn't play competitive. I played worldwides and I like tried fire hopping. I'm abstaining. So it's all you.
It's gonna get me flamed by Sergeant Guy. I'm gonna say I think it's overrated. I think it's very.
I want to chime in. Sorry, I know.
Yeah.
I know I said I was gonna abstain, but I've watched a couple MKU videos like this past week, and having to like demon hop and move the stick all the time and having to fire hop all the time, that's really annoying. And it's
fun. It's fun in TT for a bit.
Yeah, it makes the barrier of entry like too high. Like it's just I don't know. I'm not into it.
I think the casual reaction to it was pretty criminal and stuff because like just let people enjoy things. There can be like depth to something that is like very cool. I think, and we should want to. It's like the people that judge fire hopping were like the guys that like just like comment on speedrun videos, just like oh, why are they cheating, or like how many hours did it take you to learn, just the fucking assholes.
Dude, like calling
it's okay to be good at something, dude. It's okay
calling
to
wave
things.
Dashing and L canceling, wave cheating and fun canceling.
Fun canceling's based.
Thing on the,
fun canceling's
so
actually based.
Fun canceling is so funny.
Yeah, that one's funny. Anyways, as far on, here's the thing. I don't know if any of you guys have ever played a game called Crash Team Racing, but it is a game that I think No, everybody calls it like the melee of kart racers, which could not be further from the truth, in my opinion, because its
Melee
item
of kart
system.
racers is MKW. It's MKW.
Ah, dude, please, I'm gonna kick you off my stream right now. I swear, I'm
It's
gonna
too
kick
late.
you off my
I've been
stream
here.
right
I've
now.
been here.
Okay.
I've been here.
Thing about Crash Team Racing is it is a dysfunctional game because it tries to be like Mario Kart and it isn't. The items are completely horrible. It ruins everything that's based on. But the driving in that game was so fun. And yeah, I'll get Miss coming in here. All cups. You can clip this and send it to him. Here's the thing: the driving in that game was very fun, and they managed to do it in a way that was not that intensive on your hands. Like, it was based on timing, and it like you had this you mini turboed a bunch, and if you went off a boost ramp, you would go faster than you normally would, and if you keep boosting enough, you will prolong that boost ramp. So pretty much you just have to time your MTs very well, and you'll be able to continue going faster, and you can maintain it for as long as possible. And in my opinion, it is more exhilarating than anything that you could do in 8U. It's because it feels faster. 2, it didn't feel like snaking or like, like demon sliding or anything like that. It didn't kill your hands and stuff. It was timing based but fun, and you had to react quick. And really, it was just it kind of was like PRB Neo. Yes, it was kind of like PRB, but it didn't kill your hands in the process. And I think that what like playing that, in my opinion, makes 8U driving feel like not really fun. Yes, perhaps it's more skill based and like tech heavy and all that kind of stuff, but like I don't think that like 8U driving is like the most fun thing ever, and I don't think that either Crash Team Racing or 8U driving necessarily make their games like better. I guess that makes their games better competitively technically, but I don't think either are great competitive games. So like in that regards, like I think 8U is like a more functional competitive game than CTR, for instance, but like I would rather play 8D than 8U for competitive, and I'd rather play Crash if I just want to have fun driving and time trialing. So that puts 8U in this like weird territory where it's like I don't know like the incentive to play it anymore, if that makes sense. Even if like the driving is like interesting, it's probably a great speed game, and there's like it's fun to look back at 8U world records. I remember seeing like the Toad Harbor one that like went on the anti-gravity, and I don't think it's faster anymore, but like maybe it temporarily was, but like stuff like that's cool, and like fire hopping and all that kind of like it had a place in MK history, but
yeah,
there's a lot of people that swear by it, and I don't know if it's like that great. Okay.
I think you're only interested in the Toad Harbor record going on the wall is because it was such a deviation from the norm.
Yeah.
Like, if it always did that, I don't think you would have mentioned it.
Sure.
So I just, a little devil's advocate.
There were, like, good, like, there were cool strats in 8U, though. Like, let's not get it mistaken. It's just, like, I don't know if it was, like, enough to, like, get the, I think a lot of people have, like, a reputation, because, like, the 8U driving is, like, there's more complexity to it than MK7 or MKW or 8D and all that, which is true, but like and it's weird that we got a modern MK that was like that, but like I think a lot of like the older MK games, like SMK with the zigzag mini turbos, or like Double Dash with like the ATAC, or even DS with like the PRB and stuff. It's like there are a lot of other games out there that are very technical driving games as well, and I don't think that 8U is particularly special amongst those people. It's just like the only modern MK that's like that, I guess. That's just my take.
Yep.
Sorry, that was a lot, but I don't know. 8U's cool. Don't really want to play it much anymore, but I don't know. Remember, this isn't good versus bad. This is overrated versus underrated versus properly rated. So,
which we've only had to say that a million times.
Yeah, maybe on episode 2, people will realize what we're doing. Maybe we have to do like a hot takes episode, or a facts and opinions.
Factor opinion.
No. Lee was saying that I don't want to copy Coney. Factor cap, and you get the blue rookie cap if you get the cap. We have like a button.
I think
that's
anything
true.
is fine.
All right.
Move on.
4v4v4 tournaments. What do you think? What do you got?
They're fine. I'll go underrated. I'll go underrated in the fact that a lot of people say they're the worst format. I'm gonna hard disagree with that.
Okay.
I think they're a lot of fun, because I think it's it's pretty similar to 6v6, obviously, and 6v6 is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I feel that.
But I think having to like manage competing against 2 other teams is a lot of fun. So I'm gonna go hard underrated because I think 4v4 is fun.
I can respect that take. I think that I think ordinarily, like in lounge and stuff, I would say that 4v4s for tournaments are like properly rated because I do think they're like the worst. But like the key here is tournaments, and it's like if I get to choose my 3 partners, I think underrated is probably the play, right? Because like it's just unique and all that kind of stuff, and we should do it more than like once every 2 years, probably.
Yeah.
4v4 like Randy's is like almost like getting into like the 6v6 lounge thing that we talked about, where it's like you kind of have to call, but it's like you don't know if you really want to. There's like just a lot going on outside of individual skill and all that kind of stuff.
I will avoid calling in lounge like the plague.
Yeah. 4v4 lounge is properly rated. 4v4 tournaments are underrated. That's what I'll go with.
Agree.
All right, what you got on 100-point cup?
I think
I could see that, Jacob. Actually, can I interrupt?
Yeah, go hard.
I had this 4v4 tournament idea, where it's like top team advances, last place team gets eliminated, second place team sent to losers bracket. And I think that could be like a potentially interesting idea, where you kind of run hybrid double elimination or something like that, where like there's like a direct place that you go to based on like your result, and you can afford to get second once in a sense, right? And then like make it to the end and all that kind of. I think that could be potentially interesting. Just want to point that out.
Yeah, like I played 4v4 Summit with Lee and Blaze and Lumi, and our quarterfinals match on day 2, we had Thomas's team in our room, and we had like Power, Strike, and Valor. So we just lost. I was like, okay, we're probably not gonna win this, but we can do. And then we can try.
And then the MKC rules are like, oh yeah, and it's like the top 5 second place teams. Like, well, they're hogging all the damn points, so like I guess we just still lose anyway. So I don't like that rule too much, especially in the context of 4v4. But I think that like the double elimination thing could be kind of funny also. But there's still a lot of problems.
Doing good.
Like, there's 2 great.
We were
teams.
Unironically like in second, and then Strike woke up and he joined room and we just lost. So.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, Lee did some major trolling. It was very funny. Very funny. Anyway, 100-point cup, it's properly rated. I think the rate at which you run it once a year is totally fine. And I think it's interesting because it kind of forces teams to develop a new strategy. But I had this realization during the last 100-point cup. I was like, I think the best way to play this is just playing normally.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. And I think it was really interesting because, like, if you had told me before the first one that Yoshi family was going to win, I would have been like, okay, maybe, but I don't think so. But somehow they did win, and they came up with a strategy, which I don't think they've shared with the world. But they won, so I think it's interesting. I think I'm going to say properly rated.
It's interesting how, like, the best strat could just be the normal strat on the premise that's, like, well, you can't just like have 5 people go back and say that we're dodging one person because like frontal presence is still like a problem, right? Like you still have to have it to get like the upper tier points anyway. So,
which is why I think that plan normally is maybe the best way.
I personally have no interest in playing 100-point cups. I'll have to try one eventually, but like
they're fun. They're fun.
Are they fun because it's 100-point cups, or is it just like fun because like you're playing a tournament? That's like my question, though.
Well, for me, it's fun because I don't have to like, I don't have to go hard, and I don't have to like worry about my lines being perfect, and if I make the right play with an item, it's fun. Because I got to play with a group of people that I hadn't played with. Well, I don't want to say hadn't played with, but I got to play team tournament with a group of people that I normally don't get to play team tournament with.
And so is that because it's 100 points, or because like it was?
We had fun because it. Well, I had fun partly because I was playing with my friends, and it was an enjoyable experience. Enjoyable experience because it was a 100-point cup.
Understood. All right, I don't think I can really give a great take. My gut wants to say overrated, but I think I'm just a hater if I say that because I haven't played yet. But I just like the normal 6v6 how it is, I guess. So
yeah,
But hey, a lot of people seem to like it.
I was expecting a lot more overrated when we came into this.
Yeah, I mean,
we haven't
got into the tracks yet. I remember there were a few, but maybe they're all at the bottom. But here's one: Neo Bowser City, specifically in 6v6. I'm going underrated, low key. I mean, I think I think it can be a good runner. I think people are too quick to judge things off of lap 1, I guess. I don't know.
I'll go underrated.
I think there's a useful shroom up though, is the thing. So like, I don't know. Like, I think there's potential there. I know, like, I feel like too many teams just like have something silly happen to them because they're playing MK8 and they just blame the track for it's like, we're never picking that again. And it's like, okay, may not be the track's fault, like, but I don't know. That's my personal take on it. Don't have much else to do though.
Yep, that's it.
DS snaking versus Wii prolonged drifting. So I don't know exactly like what we do here because there's like a versus in here for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know what prolonged drifting even like means. What does that mean?
I think that this is just talking about manual MTs versus auto MTs.
Oh, okay.
Like, snaking is like you force the MTs out. Prolonged drifting, I guess, it's like, you know, it's like more automatic. You get it when you get it. You can soft drift.
Yeah, no, snaking is extremely cringe. So cringe. It's extremely cringe. Prolonged drifting is good. I like it.
All right, but this is not what the name of the segment is.
Okay, prolonged drifting, properly rated snaking, overrated, extremely overrated. So cringe.
Okay. I'm going properly rated on snaking. I personally really enjoy MKDS because I'm always doing something, and it's not like necessary. I know, like I said earlier, like with 8U, it's like, you know, driving doesn't necessarily, like, doing a lot of inputs doesn't necessarily make it doesn't make it like better driving and stuff. But I feel like snaking in DS is personally more enjoyable than 8U driving, just because like it feels like you can always boost. There's like less limitations. It kind of just feels like you're playing an open game where you can do whatever you want at maximum speed. That's kind of how I see it. I personally enjoy it quite a bit. I know it's like a hand killer and all that kind of stuff, but it just feels like the devs are like, all right, here's a tool where you can go fast. Use it as much as you want to use it. And I just find that very enjoyable, I guess. So I also think that it got a lot of hate, probably unjustifiably so, because of the casuals. You know, they say, oh, this ruins the game. So MKWii came out how it came out, and it's like, well, shit, we still aren't... You know, it's like the fire hopping and no fire hopping thing. I remember Sergeant Guy had like a tweet, like on week 1 of 8D, he's like, casuals. Now that the playing field's even, I can't wait to, you know, go up against everybody online. And then he just like posts a picture of him on 8D, just like 20 seconds ahead on PPS. It makes no difference. Yeah. So, I don't know. With that being said, I mean, I kind of like what the prolonged drifting does for the franchise, too. It makes it more accessible, I would say. And I think there's a lot... I think what a lot of the boomers of the MK community, you know, the classics players, SMK, 64, Double Dash, like, I think what they don't necessarily get is that driving skill is not always the only skill in these games, and there's like an element of strategy that's focused on more in the later games that I think makes for more interactions between other players. So really, I think it's just a case of me liking every MK game, personally. So I'm going with properly rated on both, because I see the perks and the negatives for both sides of it, and I enjoy playing really DS and Wii quite a bit. So there's that. Any closing comments?
No.
Alright. Pre-2019 Lounge. I'm just going to say it. Historically underrated.
Yeah, we already talked about this.
Yeah.
Pre-2019 Lounge's peak. We talked about this.
Not all the... Like, it was... Like, there were, like, dead periods in the Lounge, right? That was, like, the downside. But, like, when it was active, it was so fun. And, like, the chat was fun because everybody knew each other. You know, we'd joke around. Like, I felt like I could call with everybody, too. Just...
Yeah.
I guess a lot of it had to do with just the fact that, like, I could always play. I remember, like, I could play in the evenings all the time because, like, all the people in every tier were down to play with each other. It felt very personable compared to how Lounge currently is. I mean, it's just because, like, I don't know. It may have been, like, a different perspective for me back then, I guess, than it was for other people, just because, you know, I guess, like, you know, as like community admin and stuff, so like people probably aren't gonna flame me and stuff. I know other people have been flamed before and all that, but I just remember like really positive experiences from playing lounge back in the day. It was the most enjoyable for me back then, for sure, and mainly because I could also play whenever I wanted. You already said what you had to say, I think.
Yeah, it was peak. It was a lot of fun. It was great. I enjoyed it a lot more.
Don't listen to Cinda, guys. He just wants you guys to like lounge as it is right now.
I mean, like, yeah, it is. Look, it is nostalgia.
Yeah, I mean, it did die for like periods of time, but like when it played, it was just like more enjoyable to me back then.
But like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The times that I had playing then were
everybody
a lot better than the times that I have playing now.
Yeah, everybody just like agrees, like, yo, guys, let's all play lounge now, and like there'd be like a month-long period where it just goes in, and it was just like so fun. It was like seasonal almost, and it felt special when like it was running, I guess. So I don't know.
But now it's like, oh, I can go play tier B with Yuya, and it's like awesome.
And it's like, and then I don't even know the players I play against. I just know which Miis are demons in tier B and C, and I feel like that's very unhealthy. But that is just the truth. I don't know Coil. I know Coil's me, and I know he has a green shell for me in 12. So
Coil does have a me that is very, very noticeable. Same with Pass. I hate Pass. I hate his me.
I haven't played with Pass in many seasons. He's above me in the rankings now, but I remember back in the day, dude. I'm not talking about in 2019 though, Jacob. I'm talking like
we're talking about pre
like year one.
What happened to Pass? What happened? What happened to Pass? Who knows? Hopefully he does not still play. Anyway, moving on to Inward.
No. He stopped.
Kind of already talked. We already talked about this, right?
Yeah.
So here's what I'm gonna say. This is all I have to say. At the top level, I think Inward is properly.
Yeah, I agree.
Because everybody knows how broken it is.
Yeah.
I would say at the lower level, I don't think they know how broken it is. So I will say underrated at the lower level.
I kind of agree, even though I feel like there's more people in the lower levels that like actually just play it, but like it doesn't feel like they understand like what makes it as good, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if you agree with that. It's like
that's fair.
There's like a lot of innie bikers, right? But it's like I feel like they just play because they want to, I guess, and not because like they feel like, you know, they're gonna win. I don't know. Maybe everybody just want to play like because they want to play that way. But I don't know. I feel like there's advantages and disadvantages to it, I guess. I think overall there's like not enough players that like play it relative to how good it is. But maybe it's just like the barrier to entry kind of thing, where it's like you don't want to start over and all that. Like, how many people have like actually switched from kart to bike, right?
Yeah.
All right, I think we're done here. AC rookie. All right. I think with this player, there was a period of time where he was grossly overrated just because of community stats and all that. But I think, like, you know, like, that period of time is just, like, worn off at this point, where everybody just kind of knows what he is at this point. So, I kind of think we're just properly rated at this point. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about him?
If we're talking as a player, I'll say properly rated, but if we're talking about Rookie's impact on the community, I'm gonna say underrated.
Damn, you a kiss ass, bro, but thank you, I appreciate it.
Oh. I'm not a kiss. Dude, I'm not a kiss ass. You're the only one who thinks that you're not underrated, and that's because you're one of the only people who knows like what you all do.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. All my teammates hate me. See Luke in the chat right now. AC rookie, he's no good. Nah,
like, look at this.
The crowd's spinning right now. Crowd's spinning right now.
Dude, Rookie's making my Rookie. This is my.
This is your dream
my
right
one
here.
Birthday wish. This is my birthday.
We did Pokemon quiz too, right?
You're right. Rookie's making all my dreams come true this month.
Cinda, I know what you mean, on the bike thing. Yeah. Luke, I've known you far longer than anyone else here. I think that may just be true.
Yeah,
I think that's true with Luke at this point.
That's fair.
I don't know if there's anybody like in the community that's like been aware of like my existence for as long as him.
Aware?
Even if like amongst like all the other HG members. Yeah.
No, okay. I was aware of your existence. I was aware of your existence like way back when because you uploaded individually. You uploaded individually texture hacks and
no, that
music.
Yeah, Luke knew me like half a decade before that.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
That's fun, dude. I liked my Mario and Luigi songs on.
Dude, I had them all in like a playlist. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna download these and use them.
Did you pop off when I figured out how to make the multi-channel work on Koopa Cape?
Dude, I was like
the
12. I don't know if I knew all that.
So I
knew that was like a thing.
So you know like Bowser's Inside Story, right?
Yeah.
And like how like every song had like a outside version and then like an inside Bowser version.
Yeah.
I had that I had the lake theme on Koopa Cape, and when you went underneath the pipe, it switched to the Bowser version, and I thought that was so epic. I thought you were talking about that, surely.
No, I was talking about
That was my proudest work.
Yeah, I was talking about stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, the Block Plaza, Luke. This is your game. You should know this. Block Fort's DS. Yeah, I have like a rant. My most viewed YouTube video is just a Block Fort texture hack that has like 600k views.
Yeah.
I don't know why, dude. I guess in Mario Strikers, dude, people like the classroom. Can we talk about like? I felt like the soundtrack on the new Mario Strikers was like actually like not good. They're just remixes.
Was, like, not good,
I know, but like even the sound. I just remember like Strikers Charge like had so many bangers. Like the classroom.
Yeah. Dude. Yeah. Classroom was hard.
Classroom was hard. Reason. Like that stage was a vibe. Like, how did they come up with it? I don't get it. I don't know.
It wasn't even like a classroom either. Like, what? It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, but it fucked, dude. It was great.
It was hard. It was hard.
There's some other good ones also. Anyway, I don't know what the hell Miguel's talking about, and I feel like I'm just getting trolled if I like.
I don't know what that is either.
I feel like if I engage with this is like just getting trolled, and I'm not going to.
Poro means dog, right? That means dog.
Pero is dog.
Oh. Yeah,
I don't know. Do you have Chibi? Where are you at?
Oh, it's the inward project. What does that mean? What does the inward project mean?
I have no idea.
We've talked.
Switch
where
to
he uses inward on inward track.
Poro means blunt. Oh no.
I mean, I'm gonna say it's overrated just based on that because there's never a 100% guarantee that you're getting the inward track, unless. But I'm still gonna say no. Overrated.
All right.
Like switch off, yeah, but that's no. I don't like that.
Cloud Top Cruise. Cloud Top Cruise is a runner. I think it's underrated. I agree. You hear?
Yeah, it was. It's okay. It's okay.
I mean, especially now, like after Wave 3, right? With like the shocks gone.
Yeah.
I don't know if like people have adjusted to the fact that like Cloud Top probably could be picked more as a runner. Yeah.
Yep.
I saw like the Cannon Green, yeah, the Sinistar. I don't know. I think it's underrated. I don't think there's a lot else to say here. Mm-hmm. I wish people like would give like more. Like here's Bryce. Bryce is doing what I want. I when people say tracks and stuff, I don't want to talk about meta stuff as much as I want to just like vibe on whether or not I like the track, right?
Yeah.
So here Bryce's Airship Fortress. This is a course that is universally loved in my opinion. I don't think people see it as an all-time great, but you know, like a top 10 contender. And I think that is perfectly reasonable. I think, you know, it's a very interesting concept based on SMB3. Fun, fire music. I like the design. I think it's a very good track. And I think the community at large, the casuals, I think everybody thinks it's a very good track. So I believe that Airship Fortress is properly rated.
It's properly. I'll say maybe. Once again, Spectrum, little overrated.
Mm-hmm.
Little overrated. But that's just because everyone talks about it so highly. But it's a good track, but it might not be like top 1 ever. But it's. I
don't think people
good.
are saying it's top 1 ever though.
Well, yeah, no, I know, but
I think most people have it as like the 3rd or 4th best track in DS.
Yeah.
Maybe 2nd for some.
Again, properly rated, leaning overrated.
Okay. I hope it's Wave 4. I'll just say that right now. Do you?
Yep.
Do you want it Wave 4? I feel like you're a Delfino kid because MKW or something, but
I'm not a Delfino kid.
Right,
don't label me as that.
Dope.
If I could make a wish list of all tracks to be added, it might be in like the middle to tail end of tracks that I actually want to be added.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it were my job to pick the last, how many are there? 16, 32 tracks left? I don't even know.
Yeah.
If it were my job to pick them, I would say Airship Fortress probably gets the nod.
All right. Okay, I think mainly properly rated is the verdict here. Royal thinks slightly overrated.
We go properly rated here. We go properly rated.
All right, MKW Mega Mushroom.
I
think people liked the Mega quite a bit, and I think
I like it. I think
there's pretty good reason to. When I was playing MKW, I thought it was too dodge heavy at the time, but looking back, there's limited dodge items in general, so I think having like a different type of one is like not that egregious, especially a rare one. So I'd say properly rated. I think Mega was cool.
Yeah, I'll go properly rated. I think being able to pull a dodge in like 5th or 4th in Mario Kart Wii kind of cringe, but what are you gonna do?
It's almost like it can keep people honest, I guess, but I don't know. Hard to say.
Yeah.
All right. So Dylan is giving me a fun content right here. Let's start with GCN-BC. I think that GCN-BC is the best BC, personally. I know that's not a popular opinion. I saw the tweet the other day. Everybody likes Wii BC more.
No. I think GCN-BC, once again, I'm going to go properly rated, but I'm leaning to overly rated. Or overrated, excuse me. Yeah, and I think...
I go underrated on this one, because I think...
This might be an unpopular opinion, but I think DS Bowser Castle's the best one.
I think DS Bowser's Castle is also underrated.
I think DS Bowser Castle's the best one, and it's like not particularly close. I
think 64 BC and Wii BC are leaning overrated, and 64 BC is my favorite MK Wii, straight up. I think GCN and DS are both a little bit underrated. I think that's very close between the four. I think they're all very good tracks, but people tend to like the ones that are in MK Wii more. And I feel like it's just because they were in MK Wii, dude. I'm not gonna cap. I think that GCN Bowser's Castle is like the 64 one, but like kind of like another step up on like what like the next evolution of it is. I felt like it's like a little bit more crazy. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna get it. I'd be ecstatic if it got in the Booster Course Pass, but yeah, I think GCN Bowser's Castle is a little underrated because I think it's just as good as 64 BC, but most people don't put it in that category. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's good. I'll go a little underrated.
Oh,
no, excuse me. Sorry. I was thinking about Sorry, I got distracted for a sec. I'll go a little proper leaning over.
Okay. Warrior Coliseum. All right. Anybody who has followed me before knows that this is my favorite course in MK's history. I love everything about it. I really like courses that have a lot of turns, a lot of verticality. This is just kind of like heaven to me as a racetrack. I really like everything about it. With that being said, I think most of the community really tends to like Coliseum also, but not as much as me. But I can acknowledge that like I probably am like, like on the outlier end, right?
Yeah.
So I think that it's probably about properly rated. I don't want to hear you guys like tearing down this course before it even like is potentially in the game. By the way, just for the record.
Yeah, I'll go. I'm gonna take the same stance as Bowser Castle, properly leaning over.
Okay. I think it was great in Double Dash personally, especially since you could release like your MTs in the air in that game. It felt like you could trick on that track, even when there were
I'm not a fan of Double Dash, like as a game, but the track was okay. And when I played Coliseum, excuse me, in CTGP, it was okay. It was just okay. So I go properly rated here.
All right. Greg is talking about Poison Mushroom Cup and CTGP. That has Mushroom Peaks, I think. Coliseum. I want to say Desert Mushroom Ruins and like
it depends if
Yoshi Lagoon, maybe.
No,
one
it
bang,
depends
one
how
banger,
you...
3 mid.
I'm gonna poison mushroom.
Actually, wait, no, they added that new track, the Skyline Avenue one, and I kind of liked that one.
Well, for me,
We'll go properly rated.
I can't believe I just googled this. Okay, it says.
Did they get rid of Peaks?
Mushroom Peaks. It says Mushroom Peaks, Wario Coliseum, DP3, and Skyline Avenue. That's garbage.
Skyline Avenue's like a sleeper, dude.
Yeah, that's straight trash.
You think Skyline Avenue's trash?
I don't know.
Have you ever played it?
I don't even.
That was like one of like 4 original CTs that I remember like actually kind of enjoying.
Oh, I've played this one. Dude, Skyline Avenue, it's worse Punch City. Punch City was actually the hotness. Punch City 2 was great.
Punch City Royal, I'm literally getting an old YouTube video of mine.
Punch City 2 was the hotness, dude.
You are
Skyline Avenue was okay.
Are you on crack right now? Punch City 2.
Punch City 2 was so funny. It was so funny.
Are you trolling me right now?
I like the glitch where you can trick off the sidewalk and you go like over the big traffic.
Did you like starting in first on that track? I'm very curious.
Dude, and you get crushed by the car. It's so funny.
It's not.
No, it's extremely funny.
All right, guys, just for the chat, if nobody knows what Punch City 2 is, I'm finding the video. I'm already just finding the video just so you guys can see it.
Funny.
You guys can see my original YouTube quality. You know, back when I recorded on the good old potato, right? The good old potato. We over here? We see this? You see it?
Yeah.
This is my experience.
Dude, and Punch
this video is so old that there's 1 like on it, and it was me. That's how old it was.
No, dude, and it's even funnier of how in CTGP they used to denote versions of a track by using the stars. Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Dude, this is hilarious.
It's not funny, dude. It is not funny,
you can't tell me that's not... Dude, that's so funny. You cannot tell me that's
Skyline Avenue was better, dude. It was straight up better. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, Punch City's way better.
Are you kidding? No, it's not,
it's so
dude.
Funny.
It's
Punch
not
City is
better.
so funny.
It's not better.
Funny.
Do you guys see? You can't even play at the beginning. You just get squished immediately.
Which is why... Okay, honestly...
How did this pass playtesting? How did this pass playtesting?
When I think about rating things and like how good they are, a funny factor comes into it to me, right? Like,
okay, so do you have Baby Park High also? Because that's funny.
No, Baby Park is not funny.
Yeah, because you play it seriously. How do you think Artie and the CT players all think of Punch City 2?
I don't play Baby Park seriously.
Ryan, pass CTGP track testing with flying colors.
No, dude, yes. Also, like, what else... When I think about the older custom tracks and how they were like objectively bad, they're so much better than the ones today, because they're bad, so they're funny.
Oh my gosh!
Like Petite Park, it got removed for being too bouncy.
It was so dog, dude.
Punch City was hilarious.
No, I'm talking about Petite Park now. That track is just. It was not good. That track was just straight up created because somebody wanted to do art on MKWii. There is no regard for playability whatsoever.
Petite Park was my favorite custom track, straight up. It was funny. There was that one glitch on, what was that, that one with the ultra shortcut,
ASDF course, the GOAT.
No. It was called, what was it? Dude, there was one...
With the ultra shortcut?
I can't even remember, but it had an ultra shortcut where you could glitch through the fence and, like, it was like Tree Circuit or something. And then they updated it, so if you did the ultra shortcut
Raceway,
that track was very fun. And then they updated it, so if you did the ultra shortcut, it would put you in a cannon and send you to boos that look like troll faces. That's incredible. That's so funny.
Oh my gosh, dude. They'd never be able to get away with that these days. Alright, let's keep it rolling. We gotta get to the end. UML/World Cup coverage would be... What do we mean by coverage? Is that like... No, like broadcasting stuff, or like or just like, are we talking about like UML and World Cup? We've already got to these. Blaze, if you're here, you have 5 to 10 seconds to explain yourself. Okay.
5.
We'll just get to Sans quote right now. He just says Mario Kart. I think that's properly rated. Yeah, very good series. Not the best of all time, probably, but it deserves the sales. It's fun, right?
Yeah.
We already talked about that. Yeah. Crod says how mentality can affect a player's consistency.
Mentality is very important. It's definitely underrated.
Dude, I don't. I've this degenerate theorem about this.
Oh, this ought to be good.
Where I was there's a period like when I was like younger and I had that dog in me. Like when I got pissed off, I felt like it just helped me focus because it just made me realize I wanted it more. And I just like lock down and just like play some of my best. And I'd get pissed if I didn't win and stuff. But like,
that's kind of fire actually. That's hard. So like, I can't lie, that's hard.
So like, part of me thinks it's overrated just because I remember those days. I'm just like, I want it, and I'm pissed when I can't have it. And I just remember it was Saiyan, I think. God bless him. He's off doing better things. I think he still plays every once in a while, but like he's like IRL Chad right now. But I remember he was like our commentator back in the 8U days. And I remember I always thought that like he when we were like, going over the game plans, like how do you beat SVC? The answer is you don't. But like how do you beat SVC? And it's like, well, if you can put them on tilt, that's where it starts. And I just remember thinking, it's like, look, it's good in theory, but has it actually ever worked? I think we're overrating this a little bit. Now, mentality, yeah. I mean, if you're queuing up for your 10th lounge in a row and you're just not having a good time, you're probably going to lose some MMR. So, I don't know. But I don't know. I've had different personal experiences, right? Yeah. I don't know. July, I don't know. We'll see. There will be a VOD.
No,
so.
We already talked.
What was
talked
July's?
about it. His was me on Roy Scooty.
Roy Scooty. Wait, there was not much of a comment on you on Roy Scooty, to be honest. All right, let's keep going. I don't think we got an answer on Blazes. I don't know. I think we talked about UML and World Cup already, Pony. So
yeah, drafting. Dude, I don't know. Drafting is.
Do people
good.
underrate drafting? Like, I don't know.
I know. That's why I'm saying, like, I don't really want to say anything because I don't think people underrate it. So I think it's properly
slightly
rated.
Underrated, just because like it doesn't really stack with MTs. Like one of my favorite things, like on him, there are like certain situations, I guess, where it's like, oh, I'm drifting, but like I know I'm gonna get a draft, so I just like let go of my MT and just get the draft or something like that. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. Like, they can be situationally pretty good. I don't think it's like underrated or overrated per se though. So I don't know. I mean, go properly rated.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. Midnight Wasp and Hornets champions during the same season. All right. Personally, I'm going to. You said it earlier. We haven't had enough of it. I'm going to go overrated on this one. And it has nothing to do with the individual champions, right, division titles of MW and Hornets. But personally, I think like winning in the same season is often like more like circumstantial than it is like, you know, like, because it's just like two achievements, I think, that just happen to happen at the same time. I don't think them happening at the same time is like wild per se. It's just like it can happen. I don't know if that like necessarily is like more impressive. I mean, the act of winning the titles individually is like just as impressive as like doing it in the same season, in my opinion. So,
yeah,
I'm going overrated. Nothing to do with like the value of the titles, personally. But like, I just think like the same season thing. I don't think it matters much.
Yeah,
I guess it's cool.
I mean, it's properly rated. Like, it's cool, but I don't think it's like the end all be all. It's cool. That's it.
I don't think there's much else on this one. Now, this one from Felix, I think this is a very good one, and yeah. I want to hear your verdicts before you say anything, because I want to see if I agree.
Wait, you want me to go first,
or
you?
Just say your verdict.
I'm gonna go underrated.
On Holding Blues?
Yeah.
I think it's overrated.
Okay.
I do think it's overrated. I'm gonna tell you why. I think that, like, when I see, like, you know, an opponent holding a blue shell in, like, in the bottom four, like, my first thought is usually good.
Yeah, I'm like...
They're not getting new resources or anything. It feels like something you want sometimes. It feels like it's just... It feels like a burden to get the blue shell in a lot of circumstances, I guess.
Yeah.
And
I think
if
I
as an opponent actively want that, then I feel like that's probably not like a great thing, right? For like your team and stuff, like when it happens to you.
Right.
And I think there's a lot of situations where like you can throw a blue and like your teammate can literally tank it and still run, and like it gives you a chance to get back in the race and score more points. A lot of times there's a lot of horns and stuff also. And also like there are many situations where holding a blue prevents you from pulling shock. Yeah, and then there's of course your baggers. Anyway, I've talked about it.
I think throwing blue for when your team has a horn in first is maybe overrated.
Yeah. I could see it because like sometimes like the protection's more important.
No, like this happened like literally yesterday, I think.
Like if they have just a horn and like the other team's like 2-3,
we were playing against
like
you
should not throw it straight up.
I think we were playing against you guys and we like threw blue, and then because we had a horn and someone was like no ghost, and then the shock came and we got blued, and that was like not cool. Also, we used shock yesterday at Maple Treeway and you would pull a bomb, and the bill dropped me right into the bomb, and that pissed me off. You are so Mickey Mouse for that. That race does not count.
What part of the race was it? I don't. Oh, it was like at the very end before the glider, right? That was It
was lap 2.
Yeah,
it was lap 2,
and
you guys were like bottom 3, and we had shock in like 8th. And I dodged, and me and Joel were right behind you, and you pull a bomb from the single set, and the bill drops me right on the bomb. I was fuming.
Yeah, that was funny. I remember.
Anyway, sorry.
That race was really weird. I remember Arrow got into first, and like nobody like had any idea how exactly it happened. I also remember on Peach Gardens, like you guys got to get double shock, and like I was like super convinced. So, like it really feels like they're acting like they have another one, but like everybody's like everybody in the back's like there isn't anything. Like we've seen it. Shock happens. Turns out like you guys just having like third or something like that. It just went completely under the radar. I think
we had it. I had shock. Yeah, I had shock in like 6th. Is what happened.
Okay, so it was you. All right.
It might have been me.
Anyway, I personally think that holding blues in general is still overrated because you mainly notice it when watching lower div teams, where it's like, you know, like the best player gets into first and they're like super hold the horn, I will get first for us, and I just like watch them like tank their race by just holding it. And just like they just get like bottom 3 and like 8th or something. It's like I don't know. I think like we're too beholden to basic team play principles at times to realize that there are actually a decent amount of situations that like call for the blue to be thrown. You know, it took until like 2019 in HG to just be like, if you pull blue on Desert Lap 1, fucking throw it. And like that should not have taken that long to get to that point.
Like sometimes when I'm playing Wars and it's like not tournament, I'll be like, just throw it. I don't care. Like it's fine. Whatever.
Mm-hmm. I'm with
But if it's tournament and like we need to get like the points, I'm like, you gotta hold it. Sorry.
Yeah. It's situational. But I think like the bias is like hold it every time, even like if it's not necessary. So Guts is overrated. Anyway, Mushroom Gorge.
Right.
Mushroom Gorge. Just opinion one.
It's overrated.
You can't see Royal?
Dude,
that's funny.
So fucked up.
That's really funny.
That's not funny. That's so fucked up.
Yeah, especially when you remember Crawd's message earlier. Yeah.
I don't even remember what his message was.
Okay, good.
Do not laugh. Wait, I'm scrolling up. What is this? What'd he say? Oh, that? Wow. I remember now. Guys, stop laughing. It's not funny.
Fucking toxic ass chat, dude. Holy shit, dude. Alright.
Everyone's so mean to me, dude.
This is uncalled for, Royal. I can't believe I can't believe all these guys are laughing. Alright.
Dude, it's every day.
Mushroom
Joel
Gorge.
is like every day.
Let's go to Mushroom Gorge.
Yeah, Mushroom Gorge is overrated.
Overrated? I don't know, because like I feel like enough people also like counter hate. For every JPG who has it like, as the best course in the game, there's like an equivalent hater, I feel like. I don't know. I thought like before it came out, I thought it was hella overrated, but like now I think it's like
I think the supporters
rated.
the supporters are way louder than the people who don't like it.
I could see that.
Which is what makes it overrated.
I mean, I think that like I think it's just very polarizing. I could see that, Cinda. I could see that. That one set, like before the cave, that just gives super broken items, dude. it feels like it almost invalidates bagging. I feel bad in the back there, so I don't know. I don't hate it as much as DEA though, played every Mogi. I guess just because I haven't played it for like the last like X years, but yeah, who knows? All right. All right. I'm guessing the eyes are on me right now because you don't want to talk about your own team.
No, I'll talk about it.
All right.
I'll say underrated. That's
Shocker.
it.
Shocker.
No, I'll say underrated
all
because...
right, guys. This is the part of the stream where after all the nice things that Royal said to me, that I tell him to his face that BL is overrated.
Nah, I'm going to say underrated, and I'm going to stand by this because I think we were like a couple good races away from making playoffs in our last D1 season. Okay. So we ended 4-6, and we lost to Bree on the last race, and we lost to like Sweaty's Art on the
guys were good
last race
Bree.
or second to last race.
I don't know if like they just like I don't know if like they just like did not like take the opponent seriously enough because like they've been prone to doing that, but like it seems like you guys just knew how to play them exactly.
Yeah, and every time we beat them, we added another one of their members to the ban list, so it got progressively easier.
All right, we don't have to go.
I'm not wrong.
We don't have to go into those details.
I'm not wrong. They did it themselves.
Mm-hmm. I remember when BL beat HD like in the Frontier tournament, like we were like using like a very good lineup, I believe. If I'm, I don't know, maybe I'm capping. Cindy can correct me if not. But like I thought like we were using like a normal tournament lineup at the time. I remember I was like Shaq is like, I have to apologize. I wasn't familiar with the game.
It was Chibi, Dugo, Soldierson to James and Zeeb.
Yeah, that was like literally like a borderline of finals lineup around that time, I think. So may have even been one. I don't know, but yeah, that was good stuff. I think BL had a lot of very big wins. I think that they were definitely underrated at one point in time, but I think that they're probably closer to properly rated right now.
Yeah,
like in the grand scheme.
Yeah, I'll go on the scale.
Because like again, like close to playoffs also isn't playoffs technically too.
Yeah.
Like for me, like when going off like close. Main clan, right? It's like I had to give the underrated because I like they had like legitimately like won the tournament and stuff.
Yeah. So I was like, no, I get that.
But I think BL was also disrespected a lot by a lot of opponents. There's a lot of teams. I don't know. I don't like when like teams are like I guess disrespected by like people in D1 because like we had like the discussion earlier. It's like it's easy to stay at the top when like you just like recruit a bunch or like merge your teams like every other off season. It's like it's very easy to feel like you're in the position of power if you never give yourself a chance to like ever leave it or like have to like prove it on your own and stuff. You know, like we're talking like payrolls and stuff. Like a lot of the people that are like, "Oh yeah, you can't beat us." It's like it feels like a Yankees player making fun of like, you know, like the Rays because they like beat them 4-2 in a series. It's like it just doesn't feel like, you know, an own to me. But I don't know. I think BL had a very good run though. All right. Next up, MK Tour City Tracks.
Dude, they're not good.
Like, but does
they're
like
not good.
Are people acting like they're good? Is the question.
I don't know. I remember HD used to like religiously pick Tokyo. It's probably new toy syndrome, but
I kind of like Tokyo now, and I didn't during the time. I can't explain it. Just like I don't know. It just feels like it works out, and I can't explain it. So like I'm always down to pick it.
Extremely bad.
Extremely bad.
Okay, let's go through the city tracks. Let's go through the city tracks.
Can we talk? First off, can we talk about how like the end of every single one is a complete dumpster fire?
Yeah, they're all really bad.
Like I know like there's a lot of memey endings in this game, but like the city tracks in particular, the tunnel on New York Minute, the split at the end of Paris, the Tokyo walls, right? Sydney has like that funny ending. It's all of them, dude.
That shit. Okay, all right. So we'll go through the city tracks, all right? Paris, terrible. Extremely bad track. Like, one of the worst in the game.
Dude, I want to hate Tokyo because I feel like it's so mid. But, like, I don't know. There's just something about it, man.
Tokyo is very bad. Not as bad as Paris, but
Tokyo is what we quote... Tokyo is what we call, quote, impossibly dull, frustratingly mid. Stuff like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Look at Mickey Labs is gonna change everything, dude. I'm ready.
New York is good. I like New
You're
York.
trying to not fucking laugh at little Mickey Laps, dude.
Dude,
You're trying so hard to not
funny. It's so funny.
Can we as a
I'll give
community
New York...
Can we as a community just agree that it's little Mickey Laps? Like,
Yeah.
please, can we just agree?
New York gets a pass. New York used to not be good, but I think it's good. New York gets a pass. London fog is it's okay. It's okay.
Well, let me tell you a story about London. So we figured out in Hop-Ups that Soldier likes London. This is like a week into like Wave 3 and stuff, and everybody's like making fun of London the first week. It's like, oh, it's England, it's depressing and all that kind of stuff. Like we could tell that
soccer.
Yeah, we could. It is called soccer. Yes, we could tell that Soldier had like a little bit of a soft spot for London, and he got first one race. And we were like asking him like what he wants to go or something, and like he just wasn't really saying anything. I was like, Soldier, you want to pick London, don't you? And he's just like, yeah. In the next 2 minutes of the call, was just Ryan, Diogo, and I laughing our asses off at how Soldier was literally embarrassed to call London for first. It was so funny. But we're like, dude,
no, that is very funny.
Where it's like, you're literally embarrassed to call a track that you like. It's like, I can't even explain why it's embarrassing. It's just like, there's something about London, it's like, I don't want to admit that I love this course. And like, I feel like all of us felt the exact same way, because is it good competitively? Probably not, with that massive ass cut at the end, and followed by just like a bunch of like space or like greens to bounce and hit you. It's probably not the best. Shocks kind of own you on it, right?
Yeah.
Even the music feels kind of funny. We called it Splatoon music for a while. Let's get some Paper Mario up. All right. Yeah, but it didn't. It felt like a meme the whole way through. But you know, like you mentioned, tracks can be like funny, right? And like you can want to play them, even if you don't see them as a common pick.
I like Mario Circuit 3 a lot, not because it's a good track, but because it's very funny.
I felt that more in Wii than funny. AD, to be honest. It tilts it 8D. Just like how big it is. It just feels so weird after playing MKWii for so many years. The most exciting thing that ever happened on London was the It's Soccer on day one. Taking credit for that. That was my idea. Alright, continue with your
Yeah, you invented the sport of soccer.
I did. Yeah.
Berlin's okay. Berlin's okay. I think Berlin might be the best city track.
I liked Berlin a lot more on week 1 than I do today, I'm not going to lie.
Sydney is incredibly bad. Sydney was bad, and Sydney is still bad. Sydney might be worse now than it was before.
Is Sydney your most overrated course in the game?
Sydney is awful.
I feel like everybody likes Sydney except you.
Probably. Sydney sucks. It is bad.
Is it just how it plays, or what do you think?
The beginning and end of Sydney is just so bad. They're so bad. The beginning of Sydney might be the worst first 15 to 20 seconds of any track.
It's fun in TT, but like online, it's a different question.
No,
I guess.
It's not.
Dude, like, come on, don't you like the glider thing, or you just kind of drift off and you can like feel the push and all that kind of stuff?
No, I don't know how to do that.
Just do it. It's
like
fun.
At all.
It's not hard.
I mean, just do it. I don't know how.
It's not hard. Just do it.
Tell me how to do it. How do I do it?
You literally just get like your MT, like as like you're drifting off the ramp, and you kind of get pushed forward and stuff.
You didn't tell me how to do it.
I pretty much did. We got another follow. We're officially on the follower a lot. Is that Akino-chan? 19? I always feel like worried that I'm going to mispronounce something. Thank you for the follow, though. It is appreciated. I'm actually going to refresh the stream really quick, just to see like where we're at. Okay, somebody followed and unfollowed, so we are at 995. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it just hasn't updated yet. We're getting close to the big 1K, though, so if you want to support the cause, you all know what to do. But I think we gotta keep this going. We gotta finish it up, right? So yeah. I never gave my take. I don't know. I think the city tracks are pretty mid, but I think most people kind of see them as mid also. I guess like the bikers and like Paris like kind of like overrated and all that. But
Paris is so boring. And Paris is like, it's all of Paris is the same color, so it's ugly too.
I can see that take. I would like Paris a lot more in TT if it wasn't for the damn coins, like in the air. I hate that so much. Oh, and also the trick. So, I don't know. I'll go properly rated as I think they are considered consensus mid. So, yeah, I don't know. All right, custom track Grand Prix. This is a topic.
I don't have much to say. It's properly rated.
Okay.
That's it. Like, people know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I hope Mr. Bean doesn't come after me for this. And I don't like being edgy. I said Mushroom Peaks was properly rated earlier. I think CTGP as a package is overrated. And that's not to take away from what it has done for the community, right? It's honestly an incredible thing for the community, obviously speaking. But, like, I feel like it could be so much more sometimes. But I feel like we spend, like... and again, you have to have, like, the casual audience that wants to play, too. But, like... I've never actually watched a 24-player on Twitch, before. Countdown mode is, like, alright. Like, and I don't think that the track roster and the selection process... I think it's gotten better recently, but... over the years, I don't think it's been as great as it could be. And I think that it is kind of organized in a way that, like, you can tell that, like, very few people are, like, behind the decision making and all that kind of stuff. And I think that if there was more, and I know there is community input, I think you could have a better main pack, though. And I kind of feel like we're kind of in this timeline because, in a sense, it is monopolized. And, that's because, to get Weemfi, right, it's kind of like, oh, get CTGP. That's how you do it. So it's like, it's almost like Wii Sports in a sense, where it's like you buy the Wii. It's like, all right, I own Wii Sports now. So, like, does everybody think that Wii Sports is, like, the greatest game of all time because everybody had it and everybody enjoyed it? Or, like, does everybody just have it? And so, because they played it, they kind of like it in that regard, too. Because, like, I feel like there's better CT packs out there, I guess. Or, like, better quality control in some of them. So, I don't know. I think it's had a tremendous impact on the community, don't get me wrong, but I think, like, as a CT pack, historically there could always be better selections, I guess.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
I don't know if that's fair. Because I don't like to, like, I don't like to, like, go after something that's, like, done, like, a net good, right?
Yeah.
Like, like you said, I'm underrated earlier for community impact and stuff. It's like, well, maybe I'm overrated also, right? It's like, but you feel like bad saying it, per se. I kind of feel like that in this situation, too. They've done a lot of great work. I'll say that at the end of the day.
Yeah. So, the pack as a whole, proper.
Okay.
Some of the tracks, maybe, over.
That's a track-by-track basis.
But, like,
I guess we can just
absolutely.
say, like, it's an incredible amount of content for a game that's 15 years old and died 9 years ago now. So, yeah. I mean, it's like, beggars can't be choosers, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Frantic items. I think properly rated. Actually, maybe underrated. Because I think there's, like, fun to be had in frantic rooms. Sniping and all that kind of stuff.
It's not like tournament.
It's not made. Yeah. No, I don't think anybody's here, like, wants them to, like, be in a tournament, but, like, as, like, a mode in the game, it's like, why not? Right?
Right.
Yeah, Halpy. I kind of agree with Halpy here, I guess. It's like, what are we, like, really focusing on? Because, like, when I think, sorry to go back on the CTGP, but, like when I think of MK, when I think of MKWii, I think of, like, I think the biggest problem with the game, personally, is how the shock system works in team matches. I think that's a huge problem, actually. I don't think that it's good to have a metagame where somebody sits on a shock until lap 3, and then we use it. And MKWii has a lot of good going for it, but that kind of feels like a very weird flaw that's very hard to explain to new players. They're driving backwards. Why? So they can get this item. And it's like, well, is there a skill to getting it? No, Knife Flicks can get it sometimes too. Like, I don't... And there can only be one. You can't really do anything about it except star it out, but, like, that's hard and stuff. So it's like... I personally think that, like, MKWii could actually benefit from a controlled system of, like, item, like, toggling and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's more than possible. But we're not really focusing on that. The best thing you see, yeah, preventing cheating was a huge deal. It's like, I think we could do more for the meta personally, and instead it's like item rain. That's our big project. It's like, okay,
item rain is fun. I played item rain a couple times. It's fun.
Sure, but like, what if there's like a game-changing, you know, distribution change that could have been had if the community could have actually had discussed it and all that kind of stuff? Like, there's
well,
like,
yeah, but
I don't know.
Well, yeah, but if you do that, then you're not playing the game.
I guess.
If you're editing the game, but like, and the thing people are saying is like, oh yeah, but you can do the ultra shortcut. It's like, no, that is a mutual agreement between both teams. It's like, okay, well, what if we ban Shock and we edit Shock out of the game? It's like, well,
so is Project M useless then?
No, because Project M is an entirely different game.
Yeah.
So if you can't, so you can't say you're playing Mario Kart Wii. Like, they don't say they're playing Brawl.
I feel like that's semantics, though. Like, he could offer the MKWii community a better alternative, even if it's a different game, is my point. That's how I guess.
See it. I guess.
Obviously, like, getting it right is one thing, but, like, I don't think, like, there's ever been, like, a genuine attempt. So. Hard to say. Alright. I think we're almost at the bottom. I don't think we're going to do extras because we've been just, like, chilling here for a while. I hope it's been fun for you, though. You don't have to stay the whole time if you don't want to. I'll keep going, but...
No, we can finish it out. Okay. We don't have too much longer. We can finish.
It's Friday. We're having fun. 40 viewers the whole time.
We can do an episode 2 another time.
Yeah. We can do it every so often. I think this has been a pretty successful stream, though. There's been
it's good.
Decent amount of chat interaction, too.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of people in the chat.
I want to be able to, like, you know, take chat opinions, but, like, there's just so much on here already, too. So, like, I don't know exactly.
We also let this sit for 2 months.
Yeah. Well, all the takes were already there, is the thing, too.
Yeah.
Like, we're still in December, so.
No, but once you tweeted it, tweeted today that we were doing this, like, a lot of people put some new ones.
Yeah. Anyways, let's crank some more out. Lounge in general, people put way too much weight on it, while wars, which require more skill and generally it's more fun to play a team and climb the ladder.
We talk lounge into the ground.
Yeah, it's really all about, like, your preferred mode of play. I would agree personally that lounge is a little bit overrated, just because mainly, like, it's the ranking system, right? It's continuous, right? So it makes, like, the achievement feel like temporary and all that. It's just like a matchmaking system, if anything, that just always keeps going. It's like a more profound worldwide system to me, if I'm being honest. Which is cool, but I don't know. I'm always, like, one for team competitions, I guess. So that's my take on the matter. Okay. People that just do not agree. Okay. Alright, Sherlock Hams. Neo Bowser City on 200cc. I don't have a strong opinion on this, but I could definitely see him spitting right now.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much to say on it right now.
I mean, I agree. I think, like, it's not really made for 200cc, but, like, for casual players it might be kind of frustrating. Even for me, it's kind of frustrating, but I don't really play 200cc like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's.
How much do we actually have left? Oh my god, there's so much more than I thought was left. All right.
Wait, how much left? Let me see.
There's like a decent amount. Let's go.
Not that long.
Let's go quicker. Let's go. We're
okay.
Okay. Let's go quicker.
Oh, Jesus Christ! There's a lot.
Yeah. CTGP DX.
Okay.
I think that this one is probably a little bit underrated just because people think that it's probably, like, not, like, very functional to begin with, and there's, like, a lot of bad CTs. But there were some nice ones in there. I really like the Bowser's Inside Story level. So, obviously, it's, like, not as good as CTGP on Wii or even 7 at this point, but, like, it's all about overrated and underrated. So, I don't think a lot of people talk about it, so I'll go underrated.
Yeah, underrated. Haven't seen it. Could be good if it becomes easy to get and adds cool tracks and fun, but Nintendo's already
your Switch and ban you. So
yeah,
I played it though. I played it because Manklor brings it to our tournaments on occasion. All right,
yeah.
not doing the next one. That's
I
just
think
a
we
sad
should.
Topic.
Yeah, not talking about that. MKE World
yeah.
Cup's fine. Fine.
Did you watch these at all? The first one was a complete
I,
circus. The second one was pretty solid. The third one was all right. I mean,
I've seen the YouTube video pop up in my recommended of UK against Japan with like 10 million views. That's it.
yeah, I mean, maybe slightly overrated to be honest, because the 2015 one was great, and that was like it was the first of its kind, really. So we were like pogging out, and I was like probably just like okay. The 2014 World Cup was a joke. That's like its own topic for another day. Just like 12v12 and reusing players and stuff. It was too ambitious. We couldn't do it. All right, having a coin first box starting first. I mean, underrated. Yeah,
Underrated.
I don't think there's much else to say. It's like literally just better than pulling defense, to be honest. Like if you get hit, you get hits, but like if you don't get a coin, like it doesn't even feel like there's a chance to really run in most situations.
Absolutely.
So very underrated. I think mainly for the lower div crowd.
Yeah,
Neko Knights and Kitten Crusaders. I don't know enough about this team. I know they play all the tournaments and stuff.
Nothing to say.
I'm gonna go underrated solely on the premise that like they've had like the longevity going for them and the fact that they actually play everything. I think that's like really commendable actually. And even if like I don't like follow like the lower div results and stuff as closely and all that, I think that's like worth mentioning because I think even like having longevity, like I mentioned earlier, is something that like a lot of very highly talented teams have not even haven't been able to achieve, quite frankly. So I'm going underrated just on that premise alone.
Yep, not watching this video.
Yeah.
Don't really care.
I'm gonna say it's underrated. I don't even know it. Underrated, okay.
Tracks that have never been made as a retro. I don't know how to respond to this.
I think on this one, it's kind of like... I think on this one, it's like... I don't think you can rate this because it's like it's a case-by-case basis.
Yeah. There are some tracks that don't deserve to be remade.
So like all the remaining SNES tracks.
That's it. I guess.
Yeah. What I will say is like these are typically the courses I want to like be brought back more than other ones.
Mm-hmm.
So like I vibe with this, but like I think it's like still like a case-by-case basis. Like I don't know how exactly they are rated yet. Alright, average Boo Lake Enjoyer says New York minutes easy to front run. What we think
no.
here?
No.
I mean,
that's it.
Is this even an opinion? I don't know.
This is an opinion.
This is an opinion.
Yeah. This is not poster hot takes. This is over, under, proper.
Yep, that is true. Alright, Abba's got a few for us. Best of 3. What do you got?
Good. I think the better team wins most of the time.
Okay.
Which is good.
Now I've done like a case study on this one before already. My answer is I think it's overrated personally. There's a lot of just to like I guess summarize it quickly. I think that while yes it does make the better team win more, it doesn't like maximize like the better team winning more than just playing 36 races. But I guess best of 3 is more epic, I suppose. I'm personally like a double limb guy because like it means that like
double limb is good. Yeah.
The thing I like about double limb is like even if like you're playing like back-to-back wars against the same team, it's like you're achieving something by getting every win, and I don't like the wasted games. I understand that like like a lot of sports do like best of like 5 or 7 and stuff like that. But it's literally because you can't play like a game of basketball after playing a game of basketball. Like you literally, the human body has to rest, right? So like I don't know.
Like I think playing 3 matches in a row is so tough.
It is tough, and like when you win a playoff series,
it's just not fun.
Earned. It is very earned. Yes. Yeah, I don't know about 48 track GP for D1. I don't know. I definitely prefer double a limb overall.
Yeah, playing without call, just play Mogi. It's the same thing.
I think if anything, it's overrated in 6v6 because like it's just not It's not a functional way to play the game. So the fact that people think that it's functional proves that it's overrated, in my opinion. Does that make sense? Like, am I crazy?
No.
Okay.
Like that makes sense.
All right, Tyler and Xander back in SBC. I mean, they were considered like the best in the game. I'm just gonna say properly rated because like they won every tournament practically. So it's like
properly rated.
It's like Soul earlier, where it's like it's like definitive, really. I think. So they definitely have like very good teammates around them also. So there is that, but I mean they got results on their own. So yeah, I'll say properly rated. All right, we have got a we've got an interesting account there. We're not going to talk about that one.
I'm not talking about that team. Ragnarok, they're fine, I guess. I don't know.
This is like the new Ragnarok, right? I think
don't know what that means.
I think they're like a mid. I think they're like a mid div team, and I didn't know much about them, but I remember like looking it up and thinking, I remember looking it up and thinking like, oh yeah, doing pretty well and all that stuff. But I don't know a ton because I think it still is like a newer team. I remember there was like an old team with the same name, but I don't remember. So there's not a lot I can comment on that. We'll just go properly rated, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
XIV. This one's kind of interesting. I'm gonna say underrated. Okay. I think a lot of people, including myself, were surprised that they beat HD.
Yeah.
And so I'm just sorry to bring up a bit of a sensitive topic.
It's just annoying, dude, because like Chibi just DC'd for 2 races in game 3.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
But I don't. Mm-hmm. I think they're underrated. However, I don't think they have what it takes to get over the hump.
They've struggled with GE, haven't they?
Yeah.
This would be a huge win for them this weekend.
Yeah, which is why I don't think they have what it takes to get over the hump. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't think I have what it takes to get over the hump. So, fuck.
It's hard to get over the hump, dude. It's very hard. I don't know exactly what I want to give on this take. Because, like, you know, it's easy to like, take things out of context and stuff, but, like, from what I've collected watching them, and obviously, like, you know, they beat us last weekend, you know, it's fair and square, it's done what it is, etc. I don't want to, like, say, like, overrated, for instance, but, like, when I, like, have watched, like, their calls and stuff, I feel like they're kind of leaving a lot on the table at times, and, like, feel like sometimes, like, the call vibe is, like, not ideal, personally speaking. I think they can be better than what they are right now. I'll just say that right now.
But they're also still
I guess
able
it's like
to,
room to improve, but like, let's see. I hope they stick around and like, you know, prove it and stuff if like they don't win this season, because they're definitely capable of winning, I think. So we'll see. But you know, this is a very good opportunity for them. We'll have to see if they deliver.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Excite Bike.
Overrated.
It's overrated. We've been talking about that.
That's what I've been talking about the last year. It's like I don't even want to spend a bunch of energy on this. It's just like it is by definition, I think, not possible for it to be anything but overrated based on how much it's picked. Like, I don't care, like, how good... Like, if it was the best course of all time, like, I think it would still have to be overrated, just on the premise of how much it's picked alone. Mm-hmm. And, like, on top of that, I think it's below average, just personally speaking. So, like, it's a slam dunk overrated for me. Star Cup. I think this one's also overrated, personally.
It's fine. It's fine. Overrated.
I think a lot. I mean,
Shoals is like one of the worst tracks in the game, straight up.
I don't like DS either. Everybody liked it because it wasn't like as shit as it was in 8U, and it's okay, I guess, in this game. But like, I feel like the whole Star Cup are just like big names that just don't back it up. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of courses
I get it.
that are very popular amongst casual players. Where like I don't really like get like a huge sense of enjoyment playing them. A lot of them I want to like. Like I liked Ed in 8U a lot. SA also. I don't know. I feel like the reputation isn't earned, even if I think it's like solid.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
MW, I think
I can agree with this actually. I think MW is like very powerful track in Wars, really.
Yeah, I'll go a little underrated. That's it, just a little bit.
Yeah, I think slight underrated also. All right. Doing Scar attacks on this one.
Sorry, dude. He's a little overrated. I'll say
think so?
He's a little overrated.
I was thinking the opposite, actually. At least until like I think like everybody's like kind of like, you know, like realized that he's like really good. But like I remember like when we were playing BRE, like when like they started off, I remember thinking like, oh, we should be able to beat this team, but he was just like making it very difficult. So,
yeah, no. He's an extremely good player. However, I don't think that this isn't any disrespect to him. He's a very good player. I just don't think that he like has consistently been at the top and won as many tournaments. And like I don't even know if this guy exists in Mogi. So I think he might just be a little overrated, but that's all.
All right, Royal, are you allowed to talk on BRE right now? Because you know,
you're kind of I don't feel as strongly as I do with TX. I also feel like I'm not really like in a good position to talk about this because I think we actually had like a winning record against them in tournament. So I don't know. I don't want to say underrated because like they were very good, but we were able to beat them. So I'm gonna go properly rated.
I think for Bree, I'm actually gonna lean slightly overrated right now, and it's because obviously I'm not like saying it to like be like toxic or anything, but like I have like very high expectations for them and like what their team had and all that, and like
Oh yeah, they just disappeared.
Like one title in 4 seasons like is kind of crazy to me also, and I think like the season 17 one like I I don't think that was like our best HDU team of all time by any means that they beat. Like they kind of like they kind of just walked right over us. So they haven't had like that signature moment yet, where like they're like in a close game, right, and they just like pull it out, I guess. So
I think they're gonna have that moment ever. I think Bree dies before they have that moment because we're already seeing like a bunch of the cornerstones leave.
And this stuff matters to me personally speaking. It's like being able to overcome adversity. That matters to me when like discussing like a team's legacy and all that kind of stuff because like I've been through it with HG and stuff. It's like we've had moments where like it's like we don't know if it's going to work, right? But like we come back because we play for each other. We all want it. We all want to be champions, but not just champions, but champions as like the HG unit. That like it's like winning a title with a good group of guys. Like in any sport, it's like you want to be able to do it while the window is open and all that kind of stuff. And in this game, there's like there's no salary cap or like contracts and stuff, so it's like really just like continuing to go even like when things are tough. But it's like Bree was very dominant from the start. Like they've been the number one team for a decent amount of time, right? I think it was not very arguable like many months back that they were the best team and stuff like that. But like I think to like when you have that, I guess, reputation as like as I think even going into the season or like in season 19, like everybody's like saying it's like they're the easy favorite, right? They're definitely the favorite. Like it wasn't like really a debate or anything. And if that's like the thing multiple seasons in a row, I think you've got to win more than one MKU to like technically not be overrated. It's like being a victim of like your own success and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. We'll go slightly overrated because like again, I think I want to see them like make a comeback, or I want them to like get it done again and all that kind of stuff. And it feels like they're just like, as of right now, it just seems like they're throwing in the towel almost, as opposed to wanting to get back to that, I guess. So I don't know. I like stability in teams.
He said it, not me. He said it, not me. Everybody, I said they were properly rated.
Hey, they owned us in the finals. They can't take that away.
Do not get mad at me.
I mean, I've said that I think that they were the best team in the community for a very long time. So that's my take. It's very boring if I just say like, oh yeah, everybody's the best and everybody is underrated and stuff. That's like what made the old prediction like streams like so meaningless.
Yeah, no, I'm just playing.
Because you all obviously know like if I say underrated, I mean it, right? All right, Maple Tree Way.
Yeah. I'll go properly rated.
I'm going overrated.
Maybe the best DLC track added so far.
I think it's very overrated, and I like it. Like, don't get me wrong, I like MT, but I think it's like solidly in everybody's like top 3 courses, really, especially like the casual audience. And I don't think it's really that.
Yeah.
By the way, I think pinball is that, and I think it's also overrated for the same reason.
Pinball in AD is very bad. I want you to be aware.
It's very bad. I absolutely adore it. I love it.
Very bad.
Pinball, Treeway, 3DS Rainbow Road, like I feel like their reputations are like almost impossible to live up to. Even like Coconut Mall also, so I don't know. Alright. X-Ray.
I don't have an opinion.
I think underrated, to be honest. I always felt like he was a very strong player when we played against him. I haven't played against that guy in like 3 years. Yeah. I remember like back in the day when we played, I felt like he was very strong. Even like on the JPP teams that like weren't like at contention level yet, I guess. Chat, what's going on? You guys have gone inactive and stuff. Are you guys just listening to us like a podcast right now?
They're just listening to two legends.
Yeah, we're doing a radio show right now. Yeah. All right, 2015 World Cup. We already kind of brushed on this. I think it's
already talked about it.
It was very good.
Yeah.
That was like the signature 8U cup, I think. So, very good, properly rated, I say.
Yeah.
This is a clip.
I'm not watching the video either. Don't click it. Don't watch it.
I'm not clicking it, but like I'm seeing it just looks like D. I don't know if I think if the call probably makes it.
It's definitely French audio that we can't understand.
Yeah. Super Bell Subway. I think we're at the end.
Hard underrated. I'm actually on a team now with the king of Subway.
Yeah, you guys picked it race 1, and then it's like, you know what, we're picking it race 2 also.
No, so. Dude, every time he gets first, he's like, okay, Subway. And it's very good. It's not very good. It's funny.
It was very fun in
I
MKU,
think
especially.
It's funny. It was my favorite track in MKU, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Either that or Neo.
Alright.
I'll go underrated. I go hard underrated here.
Okay. I'll go slightly underrated, because I think everybody kind of thinks it's a meme now, so. Alright, I think that's it, because the last one was Momfy realizing that he did not follow the name of the segment, so he just deleted his message when I said, how do I rate this? Alright, last thing, Michael in the messages says, Minecraft-inspired baby names. There's a quote.
Those are so funny. Hard underrated. Alright, we should rapid fire click.
There's one more. Dak Winter.
Ooh, Dak Winter overrated. Properly rated. But
Animal Crossing sucks.
Animal Crossing is my favorite track in the game.
You're a maniac.
He also said Riso 4, unironically, criminally underrated. He's a very good player, and he is hopefully going to lead the Lobsters to a title this weekend.
Let's go. All right.
W.
Guys, if you want to post your final takes and stuff for us to address rapid fire round, I guess I'll go back to the one that I skipped on me earlier, real quick. I'm gonna rapid fire my opinions on this one myself.
Item Spy is shit.
Item Spy
already exists. Suck. Item Spy sucks.
I'm low-key going underrated because literally everybody hates Item Spy, and I don't think it's that bad. Matter of fact, I kind of liked playing MK7 with it. I kind of felt like I had like a grasp on everything that was happening, and it gave me like a sense of control that was like weirdly empowering. I kind of miss it, but like I think AD's better. I think AD's better without it. Like, don't get me wrong, but like I don't think it's bad like everybody says. 2017 8DX was kind of awful. I'm not gonna lie. Rosalie is super overrated. I'm so sorry.
That one DK pass box. DK pass box is underrated.
Underrated.
It's underrated because of how it's so funny.
It's funny.
It's so funny that they put that in the game.
Yes. Dude, yeah. I think mission mode. Like there was like a mission where every box was like star triple shrooms.
And they just messed up.
And like I wonder if like they made that and like they just like forgot to take it off on like the thing.
That's funny.
Like the box.
I like that.
It's like, oh yeah, let's go through all the sets and like make these normal items, and they just forgot it. But then they doubled down on 7, so like maybe like I don't know. Bro, I'm sorry. Literally everybody's obsessed with Rosa. Like she has to be overrated.
I'm gonna say Rosalina a little bit underrated because most people are like, oh my god, she's just really pretty. True.
Yeah, you're
but they don't know the lore.
The lore?
They don't know the lore.
Yeah, I know the lore is you walk into the library in Mario Galaxy and press A for 10 minutes until it's over. That's the lore.
Yeah, that shit is sad. Okay, overrated, underrated streams. I'm gonna say this is underrated.
Turnpike's properly rated.
Turnpike? No, Turnpike's underrated.
Actually, you're kind of low-key spitting. I'm thinking about it now. Turnpike was legendary,
rookie. I've been spitting.
Okay.
I've been spitting for 3 hours.
We'll go underrated on that one.
Felix style lap trolling in 66, not in this game.
I can buy
overrated.
That, Jamie.
Not in this game.
Lap trolling is overrated, yeah. I think so also. Even
overrated, underrated.
Kudge was like the master of like lap down shenanigans in this game, and he said it was overrated to me. So, okay.
Yeah. I think that's it.
All right, I'm going back to my rapid fire on this one. I'll just watch the Nick Adams wife reveal message again. I did one. All right, each DLC wave. Wave 1 underrated, Wave 2 properly rated, Wave 3 overrated. That's my take.
Nah, I'm gonna say Wave 3 is the best, properly rated. I'm gonna say Wave.
I don't agree, and that's why I think it's overrated.
I think Wave 2 might be the worst. Wave 1 and Wave 2 were equally mid.
I think Wave 1 was like low-key kind of good, and everybody just like hates it in hindsight now. I kind of liked a lot of the tracks in that. I think I'm also weird because like I don't mind like the Toad Circuit and Tokyo borders as much as everybody else.
I don't care about the grass. Yeah. I'll keep it 100.
Wave 2 had like a lot of pretty meh courses in my opinion, but I like pinball and Sydney a lot. So
pinball is extremely
Wave 4,
bad.
Wave 4 is gonna be my wave. Wave 4 is gonna be my wave.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah, we're getting Airship Fortress, Riverside Park, Uncle confirmed.
Your uncle, huh?
Yeah. If we can get DK Summit and like Waluigi Stadium in there, that's banger. Give me some little Mickey laps to round it out. That's my wave. That's my wave. Me and Halpy got ignored. We talked about Turnpike. Player tier list, and rankings are underrated because it's so popular for people to just shit on player rankings in general and like call it drama baiting, but it's like low key kind of fun. So yeah, I think underrated.
Yeah, no, player tier list, every time I'm
It's
bored,
funny.
I'll type in a chat and say we need a new player tier list because it always causes drama and it's extremely funny.
We created a Japanese
Like,
tier
very
list,
funny.
like a Japanese player created tier list of the Western community in 2016, I think, or something like that. And
Dude,
posted
if one of
and it
those
pissed so many
existed,
people
if one of
off.
those existed,
This is
it'd be
what they
so
think of
funny.
us, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be
we just
funny.
made it up.
We should DM someone. DM like,
Yeah,
I don't know,
Vector
who's an
posted
active
it.
lounger.
All right, my other takes. First 4 MK games. SMK properly rated. MK64 overrated. MKSC underrated. I said that before I started playing it again this last week, by the way. Double Dash properly rated. That's my rapid fire.
I don't really have abstain.
Okay. Super Circus better than 64. I'm gonna be the one to say it. I'm going to be
Sure,
the one to say
I
it.
don't care.
It's good. I don't know what 64 is. Alright. Best city track. I think it's Sydney still. Roy's gonna kill me for that.
New York. New York or Berlin?
I feel like New York's like a pretty good like Trainbow-like track in the meta. You got coins and stuff.
New York is good for like
Bottom spots. I think.
getting a shroom
Yeah.
and winning.
Alright guys. What else we got? Are we done?
I think that's it.
You think that's
That was
it?
a solid. I enjoyed that.
Funky
Thanks for
Kong's
having me.
Funky. Yeah, that was fun. I think Funky Kong's properly rated.
Yeah.
Can we really argue otherwise? I don't know. Trying to find who I want to raid right now.
Wait. I just want to say thanks for having me.
Of course.
We'll do another one of these eventually. Maybe. I don't know. Hopefully.
There's a Team Mexico versus NRB war right now that's happening. That could be fun to raid, low-key. That is an ad. If they're calling, I'll raid them. I don't know if it's Team Mexico at all, but they're winning by a bit, so who knows.
Good Team
Cloudy
Mexico.
Falls fun. The best city
Okay, I need
tracks
to eat
turn
dinner.
off the game. Alright, see ya, Royal. Appreciate ya.
Thanks for having me. Goodbye,
Yep.
Twitch chat. Salute.
Later. Alright, and for everybody else, it seems that they are talking. They've already won. I'll just send you over there. You guys can talk to them, I guess. Thanks for the stream, guys. Wasn't expecting it this week. Pretty close to 1K followers now. I don't know when the next stream will be. Probably Sunday for MKU finals for D3. But we'll see then. Alright, thanks you all. And we will see you Sunday, probably. Alright, tomorrow we're doing a Columbus local tournament, so yeah. Alright, see y'all later. GG's. You know I didn't play anything. Thanks for watching. Long stream, but hey, it was fun. Alright, till next time. Bye-bye.